minus Boomich plus Jerry in Navi or minus Nafani plus Jerry in Cloud9, which would have a better result?
And why? Of course.
And why?
Yeah, you can't just say one.
So in first case, Boomich and Navi, I think that would have had a better result because in Navi they had players that are really playing structured, but at the same time skill-wise. They had Simple who can do something incredible. Those Electronic who can do anything he won on the map when he was on AGL. He had incredible aim. And Boomich, as I had some rumors, let's call it like that, about him, and he was the guy who was just like me. He fought with the heart a lot. He had some issues with the coach and played, yeah, because
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
Are you tired of your boring old skins and looking for beautiful new ones? Tradeit.gg is your place to go for easy and secure trades within seconds. Simply pick and choose whatever item you want to trade from Tradeit's huge inventory. Verify the trade on Steam and you're ready. With the lowest fees in the market and a beautiful, easy-to-use UI, Tradeit also offers you the option to instantly sell your items for cash. We accept a wide variety of payment methods. Tradeit.gg is the go-to place whenever you want to try out fancy new skins. Start trading today at Tradeit.gg.
It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train, yeah.
Oh, baby, we're back with another episode of HLTV Confirmed, and there is some energy in the Counter-Strike scene at the moment. CS2 injection of life. It has brought everybody back, including myself, even though I should be quite tired right now. I am. Today, we're going to get into the thick of things, but quickly do a bit of housekeeping around here. We have to thank our lovely sponsors who will make this possible. HLTV Confirmed podcast been running for a decent amount of time now. I don't know how long that is. You guys can decide.
On 5 years, more or less.
Wow. This is longer than any relationship I've ever had. That's true. That is true, and we're all about honesty around here.
How close were you to the 5?
I think I did like a 3.5 to maybe 3.5. That's probably the longest. Otherwise, I've been in and out and all over the place. So we're working on one now. We're trying to rack up the years now. We'll see if we can contest with that. But as I mentioned, sponsors, the lovely people from 22Bet. Remember to gamble responsibly. SteelSeries. Mice, mouse pads, headsets, keyboards, all the good stuff. Been in Counter-Strike for a very, very long time. Go check them out if you're in the marketplace for any of the peripherals. And, of course, Tradeit.gg. It's a marketplace. You can go over there, get yourself some new skins, check out what they've got on offer. They have skins for other games too. It's not just Counter-Strike. They got stuff for TF2, Rust. I was having a little bit of a look today. That's Tradeit.gg. All right, you got Prof on the screen. He already said hi. Give everyone a wave, Prof. There you go. That's Prof. He's giving you a wave. Striker, the beardless man, we're going to call him from now on. Give everybody a shake of the head, Striker. Wow, it's like Chad says. It's a new game. And Jerry, the man, the myth, the legend, we've got him on the show today to run us through an awful lot and learn a little bit about what you've been up to. Jerry, thank you for joining us. It's always great to hear from you. Mate, how you feeling today? Another podcast, another chance to express yourself.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm feeling great actually, and I want to say thank you that you called me here, and you've been good with my scheduling because it's now kind of shaky. Let's talk about it later. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really happy to be here because now, as you mentioned, we have an injection of CS2, and there is so much motivation now, and I'm glad to be here again.
Damn straight. All right, Jerry, let's get into the show. What we're going to do is we're going to run the bumper and get straight into the hot seat so we can start quizzing you about what life has been like. Lucas, roll the bumper. All right, we're back and we're straight into things here. Jerry, I think people who maybe haven't been following your Counter-Strike career, we'll just give them, we could say one word, FORZE or FORZE. Maybe that's what I should have said because you were there for an awfully long time, mate. But in recent history, you're in the breeze, you're in the wind. So let's start with what's been going on. What has Jerry been up to for the last couple of months?
First time in my 6th year, in my life, I should say, when I had a proper work, because Counter-Strike now is proper work. You should remember that because you're doing a lot of job every day. So first time in my life, I was able to travel like with no backtracking. Like you go there, okay, you have time, you go there. You want to see there, you want to visit this place, you go and visit that. Of course, I was not going that far away, but I was in Africa, and actually, this is kind
You
of
went to
impressive.
Africa?
Yes, I was in Africa. I was an island called Zanzibar. It's a
Okay.
Tanzania
Okay.
country, and yeah, I have seen something, and this is not anything like shit, you know. I have seen some beautiful places, and yeah, I've been taking some motivation. I've been negotiation with some organizations, and I wanted to go straight into it. I wanted to get back just after I had to part ways with FORZE. I wanted to go back in like, I don't know, 3 weeks, but it wasn't possible for some reasons. And now we're at 4th September, and already tomorrow I will start to practice again, finally. And I have a big thing in my mind. Now we have Counter-Strike 2. In the other hand, we will still running tournaments in Counter-Strike Global Offensive like ESL Pro League now. It's just going from two sides, and I don't know what to do now. But
It's a weird time, isn't it, Jerry? When you were in
Yes.
this limbo period between two games and there's so much access for CS2 and all the updates and you don't want to get left behind, but the main competition is still on CSGO right now. So when are you gonna flick the switch? What's the choice you have to make here?
I wanted to ask you if you call it limbo, CS2 is heaven or hell. Heaven or
Oh,
hell.
okay. Well, maybe we need to get in that to a little bit later because that's going to be a massive discussion about the CS2 stuff.
Yeah.
There's very
So I think-
decisive. I don't have the word. Anyway, there's polarizing opinions on either
Yes.
side. Yeah.
Mhm. So let me answer. We will try to focus on CSGO for now, and
Okay.
I will try to combine this schedule with some small talks and maybe small games like 1 hour or I don't know 1.5. And by the end of the day, by the end of the preparations and etc., we will try to play Counter-Strike 2 for just a little bit every day, just a little bit. I think I will call teammates to do the same resolution, of course, and to just to feel it, just feel this game, because now there is again, we will look forward into it a little bit later because there is so much to say about CS2 now.
For sure. Look right now. I just want Lucas maybe bring this. Let me send Lucas's picture. He can show everybody. You can have a look in TeamSpeak as well, guys. Is this where you went, Jerry? Like this little island right here with this beautiful turquoise water. Like was it like this in Zanzibar?
It was slightly better actually, but
Slightly
yeah,
better.
yes. It was slightly better because there was always tides, tide when the water comes back because of the moon gravity, and comes back later. So
This is
the
starts with Jerry, man. I love this.
Yeah, that's the first time in my life I've seen something in this earth when you see the water is just running away from you, and it's not an sea, it's an ocean actually. So it was incredible because you can just walk out for 3 kilometers. The sea was just in front of you, and 4 or 3 hours later, you can just walk out straight into that ocean, 3 kilometers forward.
So
And
the
you can
low and
see-
the high tides, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and you can see a lot of underwater living creatures,
Okay.
and Actually, I almost saw the minefield. You know, there is some creature that has spikes. The black
Oh.
one with spikes. I don't know how it's called in English, but
The urchin, maybe.
yeah.
The
Probably,
sea
probably.
urchin. Yeah, I
Yes,
think that's
sea
the
urchin.
one.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of them. So you need to find a trail, and you need to looking forward into your I should say mentor from Africa, because he's the only one who know the way. Otherwise, you will get stabbed by this. Yes, by these spikes, and this is actually. Then you realize that the people, they belong not to ocean, they belong to ground, because there you think you feel yourself defenseless. You are just it's all about, I don't know, size. The ocean is really big. Yeah, this one. And as long those spikes are, as more poisoned this sea urge, as you called it. So
Nice. Okay. Do you like going to places like that, Jerry? Are you into the more islandy type places?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some islands I visited with the locals, and yeah, everyone has to see that. Everyone has to see the world we're living in. I think this is important. Sometimes this is important, especially when you're stuck in one place for a long time, and you need to wider your eyes, wider your mind, do something new. And this is the first step. It's to see something new. I think that worked that way.
How is this gonna help you win a major in CS2? Tell me that.
Actually, it's about motivation. If we go back, people, I don't know, they're strange. Everyone are strange, and to start something new, you have to destroy everything behind you. That's my opinion. And as you mentioned, how it will help me, it will just give me a little bit more motivation, and I will try to use it to win that major. So that's my answer.
I love philosophy with Jerry. This is my new favorite afternoon activity. Philosophy with Jerry, not therapy. Maybe therapy comes later. Maybe that's when we start talking about the 6 years.
My teammates will ask for that.
Philosophy.
That's it, right? We might have to pivot right now to the Counter-Strike here, Jerry, because look, you're in FORZE for 6 long years. When people thought about FORZE, you were the man who most people thought of, right? It was kind of like Jerry's team. And that's because you do talk to us in such a manner, and the way you represent yourself and talk about Counter-Strike, it was quite, at least to the English-speaking community, well, maybe I should just speak for myself here. My opinion was like, I would think of FORZE and I would think of you. And you were there for a long time. You played with a lot of different players. You had a lot of different, these chances, these events where things were looking good and you were making strides, and then, you'd drop back again, and then you'd try it again with a couple of new lads, and then it wouldn't work again. That was kind of the cycle that you went through for a couple of years. So do you want to talk about some of that journey, your highlights, your lowlights, what you enjoyed and didn't enjoy during FORZE?
Yeah, I think I will set this conversation as like something bad and after something good. So something bad is back to 2019. We were trying to qualify from bootcamp with roster with FleetJoe, FaceCrack, xsepower. We tried to qualify for IEM Katowice 19 year. And we failed. We lost to Pro 100. It's a Ukrainian team, and that was the last chance so we can qualify for the minor. And we failed. That was the first bad moment in FORZE for me. But then, just right after that, we were in the boot camp. We stick together and we said, tomorrow there is a qualification for PGL Grand Slam. It's not ESL thing. It's a tournament that was in East. Let me call it UAE. It's
Abu Dhabi, right?
Yes, Abu Dhabi. Yeah. So we won qualifier there. We won Copenhagen Flames. In that team, back to 2019, it was Huxi there actually. We won him 16-5. And we went to that tournament. Yeah. And we
the date just in the background.
Yeah, nostalgia. So yeah, we went for that big tournament. That was the first big tournament for me, and as you get post on HLTV on Twitter, on X you call it now, that was my first photo on HLTV.org from this competition in back 2019 with Fleetjo and FaceCrack on my right side. So I had my first game on the stage against Avantgarde. I had my first game on stage against Fnatic, and that was incredible. Actually, I really enjoyed that.
You can
Oh,
show the picture. I just found it.
Yeah, Striker's got the photo here to bring up, Lucas. So what Jerry's referencing right now, we can show everybody at home. It's crazy how 2019 feels like it was just yesterday, but also feels so long ago now at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
I'm kind of like when you're saying this to me, like I feel like I would have expected your first picture to be way before 2018. You know?
Right.
It feels like you've been around for such a long time, you know.
Yeah, 2018. This is like end of 2018. That was in my brain 2 years ago. So
yeah,
unfortunately, it was 5 years ago. So
yeah, same actually. And
look at
the
baby
next
Flit. Look at baby face Flit.
I feel like Flit looks the same now, man.
Do you
Major-
think?
major
I feel like he
champion.
has more like childlike chubbiness in his face. I feel like he has the
exactly,
baby fat
exactly.
in his face in this picture, like which he doesn't have now.
Exactly. Your professor, you're right, because he was he was used to eat a lot of fast food, but after that he go on diet. He go on diet on everything, and he won a major.
Okay, so good diet,
That's
win a
how
major.
it goes. That's the golden rule. Go on a diet with a major.
yes, exactly. So looking forward, then was the COVID-19 online era. It was the hardest for us because we were a team of emotions, and the worst thing there is the failing to close out the game on overpass against Gambit. When it was Nafani, Axile, Shira, Hobbit, and Inters. That was the team, and
kind of
we
when they exploded on the online era, right?
Yeah.
we had 14 free lead on overpass for T-side. We won pistol, and we were not able to close it out. Actually,
It sounds like, Jerry, maybe that game kept you up a few nights, huh? The way you're talking about it there. You remember exactly what went wrong, huh?
of course, because there was so much moments, there was so much talks about that game after we're trying to realize why that happened. So, and I should say that Nafani and company, they did this terrifying thing with comebacks to a lot of teams after. So
Sure.
we were just the first. We were just the first in their list of death. So
Yeah, you weren't alone, but you just
was-
had to experience it first.
This was also for this was a RMR, right? Like this was
Yes.
qualifiers for the major essentially at the time.
yes, exactly. That was the fight for RMR points.
For Stockholm, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, there
Ah.
were 3 tournaments with RMR points, and
Yeah.
these points we were really needed. And Luco. After there is always good after the bad one. So I think the good one was after. I mean, before that is the Berlin major. That was the minor. First was the minor. That was the first regional minor, old system, when old CIS team comes up together and fight for major spots. And that was the first minor I won with the old FORZE team. It was xsepower fleet again. And after that, we had a major in Berlin, and we had good fights against good teams, such as Mouse with Kerrigan, Robs, and Chris J in that time, and FURIA with Steel, Xirata, and Yuri. Those players are still showing us that they were good in that time, and they are good today. And of course, again bad, and that we lost when we had 2-1 score in the challenger stage. We lost to G2 with KNES in that time. KNES was even playing, and after that we lost to Dreammeters. That was our CIS derby match.
Oh, I remember this game.
Yes.
What was his name? The guy that was banned. Zoner was there. He was
Yeah,
the
so it
other
would have been
one.
like
Yes,
Sviat,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Krat. I
Yeah.
was playing with him just half of the year, but still, yeah. So there's good and bad, but always the bad things, if we compare that together, is to failing to go to the next stage of the majors, because if we go to the 2022, 2023, I had Antwerp, I had Paris when we had TO, and something went wrong. I don't know. Actually, it was with different people. First one was Antwerp Major, was with Kenzie and Norwi, and the second one, the Paris one, was with Result and Krat. And different people. I'm almost there. We are almost there, I should say. But always failing. That was the worst moments. But the good ones are always is like to go to the major, because this is the big show from Valve. This is the tournament that everyone wants. But as a lot of pro players that is in the top 10 saying in interviews, and I agree with them, is that you're not able to live by just one tournament. I mean, it's important for me, the major, because it's a dream for each player. But still, each tournament, every tournament is important. Every tournament is the way you look at it. You have to focus on it. You have to do everything you can to win each tournament. As Rob said recently, and I agree with him, because when you teach yourself to this ability, this is the hardest part in professional scene now, is stability. Is when you play against each team and you do almost the same, like Cloud9 does. Everyone say it's really easy to prepare for them. They're doing almost the same things, but I mean the old one before Electronic and Perfecto joining. But still, you always realize that it's if you do the same things in Counter-Strike, you will reach highs for sure. You just need to keep your routine. You just need to keep yourself together every time, and not letting yourself, relax. So, okay, I will explain myself more clearly. Like, if you have the major, but before major you have like I don't know, Sydney, or whatever, ESL
As
Pro
an
League.
example, yep.
Yes, it's hard to focus on both tournaments. Yeah, right.
Sure.
Because
you have to prioritize one over the other.
yes, still you have to prioritize, but you should have some tools to create in your team the mood that's showing everyone that the both tournaments are the same, are equal, because that way you will learn how to be a stable team, a stable player.
Yes.
It's really important. I don't know.
We hear this a lot, Jerry, these days from people like Astralis is a good example of what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
When you hear them in interviews now, they talk about the English word I think they're using for it is the process, right? Is that the similar thing as what you're talking about here, the process of what you're going through?
Yeah, process. Yeah, exactly. It's like approach to your trainings. Yeah.
Yeah, and they also broaden it, right, to each day and the schedule and like the sleeping pattern and all of these things in life, which we all know are important, but we don't do.
In Counter-Strike, yes, this is another thing. Like, I have read some Cadian's interviews and I've heard some Cadian's interviews, and he's saying, I have a way to look at the team. Like, the team, we have to wake up together, we have to get breakfast together, we have to go to the gym together. And I think in my head now, it's all set it up that the team really should do that, because back in, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I was thinking like everyone have the same different approaches to gaming process. Yeah. But what's the key point in teams that been stable for years or been or having an era like Astralis, as you mentioned? All those teams, they are doing the similar things every day, but it may include the regime of sleep. It may include gym, but it should include something that putting team together. Because if you have your team setting up together by event, yeah, it could be any event. Yeah. You are having a team spirit growing up, and eventually you will have a good relationship. And once you have good relationship, now it's time to use tools such as gym, such as regime, and etc. So this is like, steps. What I put in my head now, and I will try to put them in reality with my new roster. That's my goals.
What team did you have like the best kind of vibe for you? Which had the best connection? Yeah, of the FORZE teams that you had. Which one? Where is that like camaraderie and togetherness the best?
Let's say it was FORZE with Zorte, Kenzie, Norwi, Shalfei, Fierce, and me. I think that was the team.
The Antwerp major.
Yeah, I think there we had the incredible level of understanding each other. In the same time, we combined with a lot of jokes. In the same time, combined with a lot of hard working and understanding the common goals together. Even though we were joking, still we were knowing what we are going to do after the practice day. So adding some off day job, like what you do after your schedule. We set it up together. Not much, but I think that was the key that we were growing up so fast. And that was also the key point that we fell apart.
Oh, really?
I think relationship inside the team, this is the first and always first step to create a system. Because to play a good Counter-Strike, you need to create a system. How are you going to play? How are you going to approach this? How are you going to approach this rotation? How are you going to use this nade? Is it nade important? Is this nade has to be, I don't know, fight only on second round? Whatever. A lot of things. So,
how did it fall apart? How did that? Why did that team then not live longer? Essentially.
Because we, as I mentioned, we had a lot of synergy, and that synergy was falling apart because sometimes of results, sometimes of conflicts with people. They were conflicting, they were arguing, me included. I'm not taking myself a part of it. I was the part of it, and I was one of a lot of reasons there why we separated with Kenzie and Norwi. But even though after that, I would like to say that those guys are incredible, and now they're playing in Aurora, and I see they once we had a meeting together on LAN. We saw them on the Paris Challenger stage. They're just similar as we played with them before. I mean, those guys. Kenzie, he's the really funny guy. He's let me compare him to, I don't know, Flame Z now playing for Vitality, or maybe Spinks. Those guys, they're hot-blooded, they are funny, but in the same time, in other hand, they know that even if you need to work after your day with the team, you need to practice your aim, and Kenzie was one of those guys. And Norwi, he was just trying to get confidence because there before he was playing for a bad team. I'm not remember what exactly, I mean bad, that he wasn't able to achieve anything. And in that FORZE team, he was putting up together all his resources to get the confidence. And he managed to do that because after he joined Aurora with Kenzie, they had 1.20 rating. And they got the confidence, and they needed to grow up, maybe together, maybe separately, whatever. They needed to grow up. And that was the reason. Those guys needed to grow up, and we were not able to find the ways to put all the team together to grow up together. So this what maybe I was explaining really hard, but it was actually because of the relationships.
Was it the way that you guys saw the game, or was it the way that like the personal relationships deteriorate?
Personal, yes.
Okay.
It was personal, and we were trying to handle it, but sometimes when you feel the gap, if that gap is crucial, the other gaps will appear, and that's what happened with us. We had a lot of gaps and trying to fill it all, but not enough hands.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So you obviously had a lot of teammates. I mean, a lot of teammates left you over the years. 6 years in FORZE is a long time. Was there never a point where you thought about leaving, or you being the one who would say like, okay, like this seems to be, I have to be the one who has to change?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you play a lot for one team, you always think when you're changing teammates that maybe you are the reason why why is that not getting good with time. Maybe you are the reason why people leaving. But when I start to analyze myself over the years, because when I was starting playing from back 2017 or 18, and I had a lot of mistakes from myself. I started to analyze them. I started to try to fix them, and other people was coming and helping me with that. For example, it was Little, first coach. I mean, not first coach, but one of the first coaches I've been working with a lot. Striker, yeah, guy from Kazakhstan.
Not this striker.
Not this one.
Yeah, not this one. Yeah, right. So after LMBTR, now this is the coach of Monte. Pierce,
right.
yes. Each of those people are helped me a lot to represent myself to the team, to realize what I'm capable on, and I think, yeah, I was really thinking that maybe it's because of me, but there is only one thing you can do to realize is that true or false. You just need to leave, and you just need to start to do it from the beginning. And if you're able to do that from the beginning, that means you're capable of something, but you just need to fix your mistakes. Everyone has a second chances, third chances in Counter-Strike. Some people are not actually, because maybe they don't like game much, not showing up, you know. But yeah,
we call them paycheck stealers around here, Jerry.
Or maybe cyber tourism.
Yeah.
It's a huge term.
Yeah, that's the one. Jerry, I wanted to ask here, right? You mentioned it twice, and you said you're gonna, you mentioned one thing about practice, and then you said something about your new team. Are you able to tell us who the new team is?
I wish I could. I wish I could, but
is it an international team or is it?
No, it's
okay.
It's CS. I had some offers from international rosters, but eventually I didn't like the way those teams are looking to how to create a roster. I mean, I have my own.
That's interesting. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I have my own vision how the team, which players team should include to progress in half of the year. This is the thing.
Okay, so how does that?
What kind of does that mean? To me, that sounds like you want young, hungry players that are going to work a lot.
Yes, but there is some specific things. For example, it might be an experienced sniper, experienced with the numbers of HLTV I like. I mean, I think still in current meta and in more forward future meta, a sniper will be always the guy who's doing a lot of impact. Really a lot of impact in clutches, in opening duels, in finishing rounds. That's the sniper. So that's the first thing in my head I wanted to say, and the sniper should be really good, in my opinion. Then, as you mentioned, Professor, there is should be young players who are ready to grind, and for me, this is most important, that they're ready to listen. I mean, if you get invited to Cloud9, you go there and there is really good people that I would like to listen what they're gonna say, about the game, how they approach the game. But in my case, since I didn't receive offer with such talented players, I have the only one way is to find the young, ready to work people
and tell them what they need to do,
and tell them how they can do what they want. Let's be clear here.
Yeah. Take them to water, right? You can't make them drink, but you can take them to the water.
Yes, I want them to realize that they're good players and they just didn't have enough resources, or maybe they didn't have IGL, or maybe they didn't have confidence. That's what my mission here. I will try to help them to find their way into the world of Counter-Strike. So that's my goal. I realize that I'm really good at helping people who think they're bad, or who think they're not capable to play tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3, whatever. I just know the steps.
The confidence to help them get there, or what the processes of what they need to do. Well,
it's above. It's a process. It's the confidence. It's the team building, team spirit. A lot of steps. If we talk about this one, we will need a structure. But I mean structure on the screen. But yeah, I think that's my goal. That's my mission here in Counter-Strike, to help develop young talents.
That's what we can.
Even if though after they will go and play for tier 1, I will be really glad and happy. Maybe I'm not that good player that could go to tier 1. Maybe I don't know yet. But if I can help other people, why not? I mean, that's the role as well. It's all about roles.
I think I'm just trying to think of like your ex-teammates, like who is successful and who is not, and people can judge this in different ways. But I think only Flit comes to mind. Like Flit obviously won the major, but other than that, like it's not like any of your former teammates went on to do bigger things. So I would read that as like you did a lot with not so good pieces. Some other people can maybe interpret it differently, but it seemed outside of Flit, who do you think was the? I mean, Zorti is now maybe on path to do something, but he is still early on. Other than that, who do you think are the best teammates you had?
Teammates like okay.
I guess performance-wise, like if they have like tier 1
capability potential.
As you mentioned, Fleet. Let's make it as exception, and let's say, for example, Norwi, because I was looking into him when FIRST told me that we can take him. I saw some of his clips, some of his plays, and I realized that this guy have incredible aim, but he seems to be not sure what he's doing on the map. And once we start to play with him, I realized that inside his head, he's tier 4 player and he is not ready for anything, because he's thinking that everything he play against, they know what he's exactly doing. They know if he go out right now, everyone are watching him. He was
too much respect for the opponent.
Yes, but he was incredibly good player. And I think I put him and Kenzie in the same line because they are different as people, but as players, they both had this thing that they were not able to play against good teams. Yeah, they were thinking that they're bad, and that's the reason why they're not playing. It's my opinion, and I think after they did play with me, they realized that they're capable to show more. Actually, Kenzie, I think he had an invites invites to some good teams, but he refused because he preferred to play with Norwi. And I'm talking about days he's in Aurora. So maybe in 1 or 2 years, we will see more of my teammates coming up in the tier 2 or tier 1 scene. Maybe, not sure. And as you mentioned, what about pieces? I had the similar thought in my head. Like, I'm the reason of failure, but still, it's not about me because it's the team. It's a team play, team game, and there is pieces. So we can mention, for example, xsepower. This guy is incredibly talented. Even though T-Wise, after he left FORZE in Twitter, said that you will find your way. I do remember this as like it was 2 days ago, but it was 3 years ago. And like, you will find your way, Nikolai Reed said to xsepower. And after that, he played for Nemiga, he played for Banka Pepsi, that's a Russian mix, and some other teams.
K23.
Like K23, they almost beat BIG to qualify for IM Rio. Yeah. So they had something to, like, those guys, they're incredible. Everyone I mentioned, they're really good. But it's always about the structure and the team you will join, because to build it from zero, you will need to have an incredible steel of nerves. Really, it's really hard to build something from beginning. And the people I played with, they are not capable to build from beginning, but they're capable to join and to show that they're really fitting that place. So I think that is. So
what do you think? What do you think happened to xsepower? I mean, as you say, when he was in FORZE, and for quite a long time, everybody was like, "Okay, this is a huge player." This is like a really felt like it was going to be the next big thing from like the region in terms of operas, But his career has gone more like the opposite way. Even though it's not like he left FORZE because of his performances or anything like that. He was still pretty much at the heights of his powers. So what do you think? What do you think happened to him?
I think it was all about his character as the human being. Let's say it like that. So he had his own opinion, and he was really hungry for proving that he is right. That was this problem, in my opinion, and I think he he managed to beat that problem actually in time, maybe in 2 years, because I had some recent news about his teammates, from his teammates, that he is kind of different guy now, and still, you know, you can have your skill, but you can work out with your head, and you will be on a step up. You step up one by one, you know, by ladder. And I think maybe that was his path. In Counter-Strike, there is so much interesting things. For example, Exile. He was playing on the similar local LANs in St. Petersburg as I did, but he went into the Gambit Youngsters for 1.5 years, and after that, he's the successful Tier 1 player. Some other guys, like Avantgarde, they had players like Dimasic, and they played together on boot camp as well, long time ago. But now we don't know this name, but we know Exile. So every player in Counter-Strike should have some specific game, specific mind. Help me with the word mindset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
Well,
have some
identifying qualities as well that it seems like you're talking about here of each player, right? That kind of defines them.
Yes, and you could be the really good aimer. You could be a really funny guy, but without structure, without you being a piece of something bigger, you're not able to reach the heights. For example, ENS.
Yeah.
Those guys, Snappy, just keeping people together with incredible high skill, and always showing that, hello, we're ENS, and if you think you can win us, you will not understand what we will do in the 3 rounds. You will not understand. We will rush. If we fail with rush, we rush more. So everyone has different approaches. So I think my role in Counter-Strike is not done yet. I will...
Well, you're only 25, right, Jerry? 25, 26, something like that?
25, yeah.
25, see? You're in your mid-20s. You've always been a mature lad, right? But it
For
sounds
an
like...
IGL, that's like baby years.
Right? Yeah. And you already have a decent amount of experience. And you've already... This is one of the cool things. You come from a part of the world as well where there's so much talent coming out, right? And everything you're talking about here is wanting to like nurture and grab these players and be able to direct this unbridled skill and show them... From what I'm gathering, like team-based Counter-Strike with the way you want to call, because this is one of the things I remember interviewing you years ago. I think this was during the online stuff. And we're like, Jerry, you know, you manage your money and you had the Mac 10s and you're like, yeah, well, of course it makes, we're going to do a top rush. And like, I love people who talk about Counter-Strike with your level of enthusiasm, right? You wear your heart on your sleeve and you show the love for the game. But let's do this, shall we, gents? Because what I want to do, Jerry, is I want to get your opinions on CS2, right? But I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to talk about that because that's going to do with the future, which is coming very quickly. So let's do this. We have a couple of little bits of housekeeping we need to get through here. We have Nerves of Steel coming up next, Prof. What are we locking and loading here? What are the questions we have for Mr. Jerry?
A few questions about his career. Some like, you know, maybe a bit harder than last time. I think last time I went too soft. So some, you know,
too soft.
some questions that are like directed at your career that you can give us some like sick answers. And if you give us an answer we are happy with, 5 answers, then we're gonna give away a headset. So that's look at Lucas just.
Was Lucas just chewing down the mic?
He is just like eating some.
Come on now,
gummy
Lucas.
bears or like. It was the most Danish thing? A hot dog?
The fish. No, that's Swedish. Fish. Okay, so yeah, here we go. So this, Jerry, it's a game essentially, right? You need to convince us with the answers. Prof has got 5 questions, and we're going to progress through them. They're going to get progressively harder. The first one should be easy. By the time we get to the end, it might be a little bit controversial.
We want like short and, you know, straight shooting answers. No, like you know, maybe this, maybe political answers, you know.
Okay, so
we want to get to the truth, Jerry.
Answers.
Okay. We want to get to the truth today.
Okay, and now I'm sitting more.
Right, yeah.
God of War.
All right, Prof, take it away.
Let me see the questions. Let's start with question number 1.
Good place to start.
Here we go. We actually answered this one, maybe. Which country did you enjoy traveling to the most and why?
It's Malta, because there is a lot of tournaments like EPL, ESF League, and this is the country, right? So, and I enjoyed it because this is the island, because across of the are surrounded by the sea. So,
and as we've
you are not able to not enjoy it. Like really. So Malta.
Okay.
There we go.
I didn't expect that answer, but I'll take it. One for home. All right. Also, people in chat, type SteelSeries in chat right now to enter the raffle to win this headset. Everybody, start typing SteelSeries in chat right now.
Okay, next question. Which roster change was the worst, and which was the best one that you made in FORZE?
There is no worst. There is no worst change in the FORZE rosters. Every change was really good. It was really good. What was the best? Best. This is the hard one. I've been talking about Kenzie Norwi a lot, but I think the best one was the last one with the Krat and the result joining. Why?
Shalfie and Zorti, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Why? Because the result was incredibly young. He was just like 18 years old, and he was destroying NAVI on EPL. He was destroying a lot of team.
Good aim, that kid.
Yeah, Kurat, he was experienced. He beat us at the Star Ladder Major with Dream Eaters. I thought that he will show me how to go out from 2-0 to 3-0, but that never happened. And I thought that's why it was the best, in my opinion. I had the player who beat me to qualify for the next stage of Major, and even he didn't help me. So that was the best, for sure.
The people in chat are not happy. They're saying we need an answer about the worst change. There has to be one.
Worst change, okay. So we had change, worst change.
Maybe like a player who left, not like you made the change, but somebody who left, that you didn't want to leave, something like that.
Then if we call it that way, it's pretty simple. It's leaving of FleetJo, champion of Major. You're not able to afford yourself to lose a champion of the Major,
When did he leave? I can't really recollect that.
It was in September of 2021.
Okay,
I think
and
it was in September.
he just went to Virtus Pro or whatever. They were Virtus Pro.
And then they won essentially a year later.
Yeah, it was he was joining Virtus Pro from the beginning, and we had some calls discussion with him. He was saying like, guys, I was really enjoying to play with you, but I had to go. I have to grow up and goodbye. Yeah, you're noobs. So it's
a good answer.
Okay.
There you go. Prof's happy with that one. Okay.
Question number 3. How bad are contracts and transfer discussions in CIS?
How about on contracts? Okay, so to not ruin NDA, I should say that the contracts are bad because the people trying to get you for a lot of time. I know that it's common in CIS that the contract in Europe contract is half of the year, 1 year, 1.5. In CIS, to compare, it could be 2 or 3 years. That's the first part of the bad things about contracts. And what about transfer discussions? This is the worst part in CIS because we have a lot of insiders like Overdrive, Harumi, and some other who are saying just like, let me show you an example. Yes, today player Jerry just signed contract with someone, and some guy called Overdrive or any else type you in Messenger. Hello, did you sign your contract? How he know that? No one knows. But he's telling you, did you do that? You're saying, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. And in 5 seconds, you have a post that you signed it. That's how it works in CIS. And there is some other insiders. I don't know the way they work, but I know that if you contacted with someone, signed with someone, all CIS will know in just 1 hour. That's always happened here like that. I don't know how. I don't know why. And I'm not saying that it's bad, but I'm saying it's strange. Actually, it's really strange because, as I mentioned in my example, I don't know how he realized how I don't know.
Maybe he's just got a sixth sense for these things. Maybe he has like a crystal ball. Have we ever seen Overdrive at work? He might have special powers that we're not aware of.
That's possible because those people, insiders, they have some magic. I swear. They have some magic. They know everything. You're not safe. You're not safe here. If you want to keep your information, just never say that. Just never contact with anyone in online. Just do it offline. That's the only way. That's the only way. Otherwise, otherwise they will find you. Fax, not email. Fax. That's the only way.
Yeah. I mean, Overdrive is the reason that Kenny S Apex, Taz, and Neo played together for a tournament. So there has to be some magic powers behind that. And they won that tournament, by the way. That's a.
But for Protocol, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying about what magic they do.
Wizards.
Okay.
All right. Next question.
Yeah. We kind of touched on this, but let's see if we can find like a common point. You played 3 majors, but never made it past the challenger stage. Why?
Because I'm noob. Okay, so why? Because you don't believe in yourself that you are able to win the major. Maybe that's it. Maybe because no, without maybe. I'm sorry. It's because I'm not good enough to go there. Let me say it like that. I'm not enough to go to the challenger stage for now, but I will keep working, and soon you will see me there. I promise you. That's it.
You happy with that, Prof? As
Fair.
the official adjudicator here.
Fair answer.
Fifth and final question.
The last question. If we get this question, we're gonna give away a headset. SteelSeries. I don't know which model. I think, but it's the same one that we have.
The Arctis. Where is it?
It's actually here.
Arctis
It's
Pro
like
something.
Nova Pro wireless. I have it in my thingy. Okay, last question. Minus Boomich plus Jerry in Navi or minus Nafani plus Jerry in Cloud9? Which would have a better result?
And why? Of course.
And why?
Yeah, you can't just say one.
So in first case, Boomich and Navi, I think that would have had a better result because in Navi they had players that are really playing structured, but at the same time skill-wise. They had Simple who can do something incredible. Those Electronic who can do anything he won on the map when he was on AGL. He had incredible aim. And Boomich, as I had some rumors, let's call it like that, about him, and he was the guy who was just like me. He fought with the heart a lot. He had some issues with the coach and played, because even though they won 9 Tier S tournaments in a row, if I'm not mistaken, they won a lot. And what about Nafani and Cloud9? I think in Cloud9 they have a really good structure, and I'm not sure I would have fit its structure. I mean, I had the same with Navi, but as I mentioned, skill-wise, Exile and Shiro, those players are incredible good, but they have a different play style from me, what I like. For example, I like Simple and Electronic, and I didn't like Shiro and Exile.
You like aggression, it seems like to me.
Those both players are really good, incredible, but they have different play style, different approach to the game, and the approach of Navi from Simple and Electronic is closer to me. So I think minus Boomich plus Jerry would have been better. Yeah.
Was there never a conversation for you to join Navi? This is not part of the question. I'm just you can answer, you know.
No, I think Navi never wanted me.
Okay.
As I mentioned in the previous one, I'm noob.
That's right. There was only one question ago.
As previously established.
You happy with that, Prof?
Yeah. Amazing.
Right. Well, is this the headset we're giving away?
That is the one.
This one right here? Oh.
That is the one.
There we go. I had to get up quickly during that question because I knocked an open bottle of water open right next to my PC. And before the water trickled into my computer, I had to go get a towel. So that's why I was running around like a bit of a madman right there. But everyone, Wack SteelSeries in chat. Classic
quick towel run after leaks. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
In the bedroom.
Really depends on how far away the bathroom is, doesn't it? But look, Voj Bex, congratulations. Been following since 2022. So quite a recent, follower, I suppose.
Well, it's still a year. It's not bad.
Yeah, good stuff. Voj Bex, VOJBECZ. Our people will reach out to your people. And that was Nerves of Steel, brought to you by Prof, but more importantly, SteelSeries. And, of course, Jerry getting stuck in. So there we go. Congratulations. Let's keep the show moving along here. Now, okay, yeah, let's run some ads, shall we? That's exactly where I thought we were going.
It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train,
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals, bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22bet.
Do you want to change your boring old skins for awesome new ones fast without losing a lot of value and without the risk of getting scammed? Go to tradeit.gg and safely trade your items within 60 seconds. Just select which items you want to trade from your inventory and choose whatever skin you want from Tradeit's inventory. Click Trade, verify the trade on Steam, and you're good to go. With the biggest inventory available for the lowest trading fees on the market, tradeit.gg is your go-to whenever you want to play with new skins.
All right, we're back and we're into the recent news. With the recent news, we're going to merge. We're going to merge that. And as I tried to press the button, I absolutely fucking ruined it. I went from recent news and then I hit the EPL button on the Lucas has in this little thing and then it moved me over to EPL. So either way, we're in the recent news, but we're talking about EPL. We're going to blast through Group A. We're going to blast through some Group B discussion. We've got a bit of a presentation that we can go through to get our expectations. But gentlemen, I want to keep this short and fast because at the moment, the internet, as we've spoken about, is all just CS2, right? The Reddit, the forums, everybody, whether they love it, they hate it, whether they're talking about it, all the conversation is about CS2 and the news that's come through that. So we'll blast through the conversation with Group A. So Vitality topped the group. They're going to be straight through the quarterfinals. Movistar Riders were able to lock in the second spot in the group that's going to put them into the round 2 of the playoffs. And then it was Astralis and FURIA bringing up the rear to get the last 2 positions, which will be playing in, I think it's the round of 16 for the playoffs. Now, I don't want to, spend too much time talking about every specific team. So if you guys have some highlights that you wanted to discuss with these names, like for me, the nice quick one is Vitality showing great form, right? 3 series, all 2-0s, looking hot, right? Still smashing. And this is the thing, Jerry, with this Vitality roster. They haven't had much practice, mate. Since they added Flamesy, it's only been a couple days of practice. It's just been events. And we haven't even had plenty of time to see them, refine what they have. Are you expecting an even better Vitality after practice?
Yeah. I think in time they will show that they're an incredible team because they have a lot. They did the trick James couldn't do. It's after winning major, they did a switch of the player. Vitality changed to Pre, and Virtus Pro they changed Norbert. In case of Virtus Pro, it didn't work. In case of Dupree, it worked perfectly. So we will see more, I'm pretty sure, because those guys, the Sonic, he know what to do. He know what he's doing, and he's incredible coach. And also, I wanted to say funny fact that no one can even able to take 10 rounds except Movistar Riders and Overpass in EPL Group. So not even double digits. Vitality are just destroying, and we should mention maybe FURIA a little bit because they since adding Fallen, it's the legend as well. They had some really pressured and hard games, and I think in distance, since they moved into playoff, we will see more from Fallen and company, because this is always happening like that. You have players like Sirat, or you have players like Yuri, and you have experienced IGL, and in that case, in time, I'm pretty sure on LAN, on stage, FURIA will show something incredible. That's my bet here.
Okay, so did Prof Striker, do you agree with that sentiment? Are you liking what you're seeing from FURIA? Do you think it's trending in the right direction? Do you see the potential? How would you build on what Jerry's just said here?
I would say it was important that even though, Casterado had insane stats, I mean, he kind of racked them up in like either losses or the 2 games that kind of they were supposed to win anyway, against Greyhound, for example.
Mhm.
So I think it was a good sign for me that they beat NIP without him basically being on that level. And the same thing with GamerLegion, they didn't necessarily need like top tier Casterado to win these games, and instead it was other people who stepped up. There was that Art game on, I think, Mirage against
Art had some
NIP,
good
right?
matches. He had some good matches with good impact, being very aggressive.
And I think it seems like they're not making as many of those stupid mistakes where they're just like completely disconnected. It still happens sometimes. You can still tell that maybe they're a bit too overeager, for Fallen's taste. Let's say, he's more used to like a slower play style. But it seems to me like just probably just through more time together and getting used to how each other wants to play, they have a better understanding of each other, and that's because I haven't seen as many of those like really weird situations that were happening in the previous tournaments.
Okay. Who else we got here on the list? NIP, I think that's a little bit disappointing, the inconsistency of their individual strike again. And it feels like such a cop-out conversation for us to have of just, oh, yeah, the players, they're not doing what they need to do. But that's kind of what it feels like here. I don't know how I would try and define the roster of NIP in terms of their play style. I would have a difficult time doing that. I don't even know what category and they fall under anymore. But they had, highs and lows in this group as well. They got blown out of the water by Astralis the last time they played, but they came in here with prep and they knew what type of matchup they're likely to go into. And then they beat Astralis, the team who ended up qualifying out of this group. So I have a difficult time putting my finger on a lot of these teams when, well, I guess for this roster, it's only one new player, right? It's just Hampus coming in for Alexi. It's not like, but it is an in-game leader. But it is an in-game leader. So that's the thing that will take time. So Jerry, I suppose, as an in-game leader, the resident in-game leader we have on the show right now, how long, when a change like this happens, would you expect before they can find a consistent base layer, like of what we should look for this team and go, okay, that's their realistic level?
Let me say it will be 1 or 2 tournaments after this one, the big one tournaments, because NAP, as you mentioned, they are able to beat Astralis, yeah, and they are really actually skilled, wise players. Like Config, incredible player. Brolin, he was showing a lot. I mean, he was the top player even, and they have good IGL, but they still will need some time. I don't know. Actually, I think when we had the game against them, when they had Alexi, I think NAP, they were just, I don't know, as you mentioned, disconnected sometimes. Maybe because they're international, speaking English, maybe because of that. And not each international team are working out so good. Okay, we can say FaZe, but FaZe, they have Robs, yeah, they have Kerrigan, who've been on the scene for, I don't know, 15 years. And they had Rain, who've been consistent from, I don't know, Kinguin team back 2017. And Broky, the international teams are not always showing consistency because it's really hard to communicate on the different language from your own. Because for Astralis, I saw an interview that they, on Danish, I'm not sure, they can talk information less, they can talk less and understand more. But in English, they had to say more and understand less. I think that's it. I think that's it in NIP, and they will need players to step up. Config will need to step up really hard, I think. I'm not saying about Hetrick is the new one, but Brolin will need to step up. And if we see all of those in the next 1 or 2 tournaments, it's okay. But if we're not seeing that, I think it's bad.
Have a change.
It's bad for them.
Yeah. I mean, I think Hetrick, you're saying he's like a new one, but he's been in the team almost a year now. He joined at the start of the year, right?
I think he's pretty good. Like in terms of his age, I think he's pretty good. Like he's a young.
What does that mean? What is your expectation then for him? I don't know.
Well, to be honest, I didn't have high expectation because everybody is like on the academy team like hype train, right? And not all of these academy players are going to be good.
Yeah,
like,
the problem is that he is supposed to be the young star of the team. Like with the rest of the team, most of them are kind of aging out pros that have a niche that they're good at, but none of them are like
the full package,
top 10 potential, like top 20 top 20 borderline maybe.
So the whole
if-
team you think is hedges on if Headtrick can be a consistent beast
Yeah.
mode AWPer, and yeah, that's probably right.
I think they just need to extract more of them, and I think, for example, the overpass game, I rewatched some of the like kind of a short highlight, fastened up this morning, and like if your AWPer is going like 4-14 on the CT side of overpass, you're not going to win. Like you simply, you're not going to win. And it does really correlate. I feel like his good games correlate to them doing well or not doing well. And he is also pretty passive in terms of like openings.
But think about the players he has around him, right? This is where I don't know what his style or what his preferred approach would be, but the team doesn't feel like it's set up to nurture like an aggressive AWPer.
No,
when you have config
and that is
rolling.
fine. But then when you're passive, you need to get the because
yes, you need to hit the sitters.
You should get more kills
because overpass is the map when you have 3 stages, and AWPer can be useful on all of those 3 stages. On stages, I consider the points on the maps. For example, first stage for city is the balance, the second stage is the toilets, and the first stage is the side dice box for overpass city. And you have 3 stages. There is on each stage, terrorists need to use the utility to get rid of you. But you're
and
always
they won't have it all the time. Yeah.
Yes, exactly what I'm saying. So you have 3 stages. There is so much you can do, and if you're not going and not good in that's like that.
So for me, it was weird because like I was reading, look at the forums, and it's like res washed, blah blah. So I'm like, I didn't watch too much of EPL this week, and I'm like, okay.
Well, the Counter-Strike wasn't overall good in a lot of the games. It was very sloppy CS, and for a lot of it.
Then I look at his stats, and he's like the best performing player. And I look at this game, and he was the only guy making it competitive on like overpass, for example, and he was playing well. So I don't know why like he is. I think it's kind of the delay of reaction that people have because he is also now in like all of the shitty roles. He doesn't really have.
Yeah, he's a support player now.
Aggro. He is literally a support player, and it's like, why is he getting shit?
The whole team doesn't make sense, does it? No. I think that's
but that was our problem for the beginning, right?
It has been a problem for the last 2 years for NIP.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's let's merge a few of these points together here. With what Jerry's spoken about, in a couple more events, we'll get to see where that level is. Prof, you coming in here and saying, hey, look, this guy's good, but this guy's getting the flack, but this guy, but that's been every month, it'll be a different conversation about a different player or a different pairing of players.
Performance, yeah.
So maybe if we merge these two things, if we don't see the level of potential, right, shine back through the curtain in the time period that Jerry's talking about, you blow it up. So if we were going to blow it up, who are you keeping? Do you go back to Sweden? Do you go full Swedish core? Do you blow it up completely? Because they're clearly happy to go in a different direction now. They're showing that they don't just need to be Swedish. What do we do?
But why not? Why not? Well, they might try something with Hampus, and they might even keep Headtrick because, as you mentioned, he's young. It's just 1 year in this team, and he's playing on not the biggest, not the biggest level, but on big one, and. You should keep it. You should develop this talent, and Hampus will help, I'm pretty sure. But what about consistency, as we mentioned, from Berlin and Config? I think the Config is incredible player, but if he can do what he have done before, I mean, incredible performances, this team will play much better. But in case you mentioned, I think they should maybe change config to someone else, maybe to someone who was more younger and hungry. But we will see.
That's a different role. I mean, he's
sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like different role. Like right, like there's just too much aggression and just too much. Everybody wants to do stuff in this team to some level. Rez was the one who's taken a step back because he's I don't know. They said that he feels more. Yeah, exactly. Somebody had to. And they said something like Rez is feeling the most. Fitting for like a more anchory and more supportive role rather than everybody else, which to me, to be honest, makes sense. Like I don't see Config being the guy who's going to sit in his side forever and just wait for support. Like he has to be active. He's the most like egregious in that aspect. Like he has to be the one who's like going for kills all the time. And I think you don't want to put Bro in there because you're still kind of hoping that he will like reinvent himself enough to get back to that Fnatic level, And Rez has had a chance for a long time, like to be the star of the team, and he never really hit that level. I would say so, yeah. I think that's a good way to say it, yeah. So I would like from my from my perspective, I think Hattrick can, like, why wouldn't Hattrick be able to stay? I would also keep Brolin just to see if you put him in all the positions that he wants and if you get him the support that he needs, I think there's a way that you can still bring him back, because I think he was too good for too long in Fnatic to just, like, for this to disappear. Like, I still don't believe that this Brolin is the Brolin that we saw in Fnatic. You know, I don't see this as the same player, you know?
Sure.
So I think around those two you can start, and then Hampus can probably stay because he's been there for a long time, and I don't think he's ever been the problem. It's more the pieces he's had, and then you can get more of a supportive cast around those three, and see if that's going to work. You know.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Movistar Riders. I think they were the surprise here, but to be fair, when you look at their side of the bracket, it does look weak, right? Like this wasn't the strongest group, right? We had this conversation at the start. It definitely wasn't a strong group by any means, but the fact that they can beat a FURIA, that kind of puts themselves in a good position immediately, right? And then when you go on to take a GamerLegion, they're another solid, right, in just their general approach. So they're good wins for Movi. It wouldn't be good wins if we were talking about G2. That'd be that's what we'd expect, right? But for Movi and them having, you know, a couple of these rises every now and again, that's good signs. But I even think, you know, their game on Overpass, you mentioned it before, Jerry, they got the double digits against Vitality, right? But in that game, they lost both pistols. They were doing some of their harder work on gun rounds, and they probably should have even won a couple of more rounds, right? They lost like a 3v4 situation that they team flashed into, and there was a couple of these moments. So the question becomes for Movi again, cool, another good performance to shine the spotlight back on Spanish Counter-Strike, but is there more in the tank this time to have another crack like the previous roster with Sampaius? I don't know. Just as very surprising for an older lad with his contributions in the fragging department as a site anchor. He's fun to watch. I think Adam, still quite young, didn't get to see, I think, everything he had to offer as an individual. But they feel like already two more frag-centric players than Davi G and Deaths were. Because like they're doing more, or they're looking for more. They're finding more impact in that way. But it may be way too early to measure something like that. That's just from the initial sample. Anyone have anything they felt about Movistar Riders?
I just wanted to mention that those guys are making a lot of roster changes, and always when they're coming to the LAN, they can surprise. So that's the team. If you want to see some, you know, unusual Counter-Strike, just watch Movistar Riders on LAN. That's always work out. Those guys, they're really good. They're really good on LAN. Online, I don't know, but on LAN, just watch Movistar Riders. That's how it works on me.
Okay, nice.
mopoz enjoyer.
Yeah. Yeah, mopoz is the smoke enjoyer, actually. I mean, smoke in Counter-Strike, of course.
Yeah.
And, this guy is just stick. Just stick with the smokes. He's always in the smokes. He know how to approach the smoke. He know everything about smoke. This guy who was destroying me back to 2018 on Banana on Inferno through the smoke every time. I don't know. Mopoz are good.
Oh shit. Okay. Who else are we going to talk to about from this group here? I don't think we need to go into any real detail about Orcs and Greyhound right now. It's just going to be, you know, whatever we generally expect.
Kind of, yeah.
GamerLegion. I think GamerLegion, the most disappointing thing for me is that they just got walked over by FURIA in that matchup last night. I would have loved to see a little bit more resistance. Mirage almost was a map that they brought back into contention, or FURIA almost threw it away. And then onto Overpass, which was their map choice, they got absolutely destroyed, like absolutely bamboozled, 16-4. So that was a little bit, you know, that I don't know how to feel about it.
Fairly respectful run, I have to say. Like the Movistar loss kind of put them in this shit situation where they had to play like game fucking Astralis, and then, but they beat NIP. They beat who they beat Greyhound opening game. I don't know. Like they
felt like they had NIP's number. To be fair, when I was watching that game, I know it was a 3-mapper, but it felt like they were in control for large chunks of those games.
In that game, it felt like they thought NIP were shit. In
with the way they were fighting them. Yeah.
Like Volt was just like, these guys suck. I'm gonna walk in this crossfire, kill both. And
there were moments like that, surprisingly. So,
I respect that, because that gives me like hope that they can do something, even if their results overall are not that great. Like, and their team should not be good, realistically. Like
they're punching up.
Their Cologne run was respectable. I think this is also respectable. They didn't get to playoffs. They were like one one position from playoffs in both places. So I think that's okay.
And it's another team that is 2 new players and game leader being one of them. So I think they're doing pretty good for where they're at, considering.
Let's just mention that Neon just had some bad year in Evil Genius, and now some fresh air for him. We just have to be happy because he has some resources to work with. He has some ex-teammates, Kios, and I think they're on their way to show some damage. Just the first big tournament, and that's okay.
Nice. Okay. Are we happy with leaving Group A here? Do we want to mention? Well, we didn't talk about Astralis, but I think Astralis.
I think that was kind of like a similar story as Vitality for me, in that they just delivered. I think the first game was just off. I don't know. They didn't seem like they were there. And from there, I think they didn't even lose a map, to qualify for the playoffs.
No, it was. This is how much destruction it was: 16-5, 16-6 against Orcs, against GamerLegion, 16-12, 16-8, and then against FURIA, 16-7, 16-13. Yeah. So. No real moments where they were truly a threat in the series.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they just delivered. I don't think, no real big thoughts.
All right, good stuff, Astralis. We'll give a thumbs up over there. We had Borup come on the couch and talk a bit. We had join us with the cast alongside of Castle.
Extract some. You're asking me about like bear. Was it you or Machine? Someone was asking about like playing B monster overpass. I think it was you. You're showing him like the pre.
Oh yeah.
The what's it like the prep from not Letify but whatever.
I used Skybox Edge as one of the tools, and then we went into refrag.
You're asking, these are your stats. Like, so how do you approach this position? And he was like, oh, I can't tell you this. But then he told you something, and I could see on Stair's face, he was like, you shouldn't have said this. It's like you gave away too much in this mini interview here. So it was that was enjoyable.
Yeah, those are the nice moments when you can, just put them under the spotlight and see what comes out, see how much information we can extract. Okay, let's jump into Group B, shall we? Let's start talking about this. So, Prof, you've got a worksheet for us here today. We're going to be doing homework live on air.
You can open the link is there.
Okay, so Lucas, bring this one up in TeamSpeak for everybody at home, and we'll also open it ourselves. And Prof, you can walk us through your little project here.
I have to say, it makes so much more sense now that there's like
text, right?
There's the text there.
Yeah, there's 4 quadrants here. We're going into quadrants, but essentially the idea, maybe we can tweak it, maybe we can do it in the future. I don't know, but it's so it's kind of a preview for the next group, and we have 4 categories. That is top, flop, shock, and no stock. So essentially, and this is kind of based on the 2 axes. One is like expectation, and one is how are they going to perform actually.
Like a prediction, right?
Like our prediction of how they're going to perform. So there are the 8 teams there, and I just moved mine around to give like kind of an expectation. I think in my mind, ENCE is like the top dog here, and they are most expected to do well, and they will do well. And I think Mouse will do well, even though maybe their expectation is not that high. Maybe their expectation is a bit higher than this. They can't be, let's say like something like this. This makes a bit more sense for me. I think Heroic have not been looking that hot recently.
Okay.
So I think they are kind of a scare to maybe. I think they're gonna still go through, but I don't think it's gonna be as dominant as it was in the past. And like previous EPL groups should be like they're gonna smash, they're gonna go 3-0. But I think they can be a bit shaky. But the rest of the group is not that difficult, so I don't see them finishing under like Big or EG, MIBR, Rooster, who are on my kind of bottom. So I kind of put this together. Monty in the middle. Big is maybe a bigger name, but I don't think they're going to do that well. And yeah, that's kind of the
I see how you've thrown this together here. All right. Well, Jerry, while Prof's been talking, you've been working on yours. Do you want to walk us through your expectations here?
Yeah, I think the top team here is ENCE for now, because ENCE's been showing really good, and I think they have synergy everyone in their team wanted, and especially Snappy. So yeah, after, as you mentioned, Professor, the Heroic were not looking great recently, but still is the team with a lot of structure, with good IGL, with players like Stone, like Tessus, and I think they're in my heart, they will be always on top, because I just love Heroic. I love how they approach the game. I live in threes, and So what about shocking thing here? Yeah, is between shock and top, it will be Mouse, because they're really young. extremely young, let's say, and they're new. So who else can be there between Shock and Top? Could be only Mouse, because I don't know. I didn't see that team much, and I'm really want to see what they will show us in this group. I would really like it. I had it in my plan to watch for Mouse, exactly for those one, because the group with the playstyle like Ants, Mouse, Monte, it's really interesting group. There will be some great matches. What about MIBR? MIBR, I saw some online games with them, and those guys, they're I can see that. I can see that by their moving, but by what they're doing, the map, how they approach, I see they're really motivated. But there's something always they are missing, some pieces, some clutches, some good rotations, and I hope that MIBR will shock us a little in this group. I'm really hope because that was just a coincidence, but I saw 2 or 3 of their online matches in like tournaments like CCT, and I think they deserve here on stage on Lanamin to shock us, to show something. What about BIG? Is there something in the middle? BIG is the team where no tabseN as AGL, but he's still there. It's interesting. It's interesting decision. Yeah, it's interesting decision, and I'm not able to say much. That's why they are in the middle. They might shock, they might lose, they might not stock. We don't know. We don't know what's happened with them. And the same with Monte. They changed the Boris, the guy who was doing unpredictable and heavily impacted job. And without him, with Bro adding, they are still the good team, but I think they will be missing him. They will be missing his clutches, even though they have really, they have structure, they have rounds, they are Anubis enjoyers. But I think without Boros, they are close to the top, but no. And the 2 more team, EG and
Rooster.
Yeah, Rooster. Yeah, I think there is not much I can say about those ones, and we will be looking forward into Mouse and answer this group. I think those 2 teams will not surprise as much. I'm even saying that I'm not able to explain why, just because. But it is what it is.
What's going on with the audio here?
Yeah, I'm having something.
there's like an echo from somebody.
I think it's fixed now. It was just, I don't
know if it was Lucas or what.
No,
but it's,
maybe it was me. Maybe it was me. I was clicking.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was you. I think it was either me or Prof. I think it was either me or Prof. But either way, it's fixed now. Okay,
good.
That's all Jerry's teams. All right, Striker, you've been going on it. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure this is not necessarily final, but this is just what I went with. I mean,
don't worry, we aren't going to take you to court about this or anything.
No, I mean, I think
we'll not hold up in the court of law.
I think mine is fairly similar to Prof's, except I mean, I have higher expectations for Heroic just because of the side of the bracket they have. I don't think they're going to lose to Big or Monty on the side, and so they're going to qualify for the playoffs. And it just depends. Like if they meet Ants in the final, it's probably going to be a brawl. If they meet Mouse, they still have a chance to lose. You know,
well,
like
actually, didn't look at the bracket when I was doing
that's my point. You know, like I would more expect Mouse to be able to beat Ants than anybody on the upper side to be at Heroic, even though Ants are a better team. You know, just because of how the bracket worked out. So I see Mouse having a decent chance to beat Ants, even despite their form. Just because this is groups, you know, you can get away with that one loss, you know, and then just get back up. I don't expect them to win, but I think there's a chance, you know. While for Heroic, I think they're just going to stroll to the playoffs without any real issues, you know. That's the expectation, and I think that's what they're going to do. Other than that, I don't think anybody else. I don't know. Like, there's a question about what's going to be the 4th spot, essentially, because I think everybody agrees that Heroic and Mouse should be the 3 like lock-ins. And then it's about like, is it going to be Big or Monty, or is maybe MIBR going to surprise, something like that. I don't really expect the EG to have any sort of a say in that, to be honest. I think it's going to be between those 3. And Rooster has super low expectations, obviously. So that was my question that I was trying to answer. And I think, Big beat Monty pretty badly in like, I think Pinnacle Cup or something like that pretty recently, like a week ago or so, a few days ago. So like it depends on how that matchup is going to go, probably in terms of how they will do, like if they will have a better chance to grab that 4th spot. I feel like it's between those 2, and that first matchup might just decide that.
Okay.
Honestly, I have to say, as the forums like to call it, the clash of trash between like a Rooster, EG, MIBR will be actually interesting. Actually, I'm interested how like an EG Rooster game will go.
Mm.
I think that could be fun.
What do you imagine? What will happen there?
Well, this is the thing. Last time around, Rooster were close to winning a map, or they were close to, you know, getting an upset of some very small variety. But this is the thing. Imagine Greyhound, but with less resources behind them and less experience. So there should be really, for Rooster, they should have the lowest stock out of any team here. And that's not meant as like a slight or a dig. That's just the fact of the matter. And that's why I put EG in the similar bucket here. I put them in no stock as well, because sure, there's a few more names that have a bit more familiarity with the community, and we've seen them around, and they have the support of EG. I also think that it's for guys like George and Walco, like even Hex to some degree, even though we've seen him around for it, there's still this very harsh learning curve, and they're having to. There's a lot of gaps that have to be bridged for these players to be able to compete consistently. Shock and awe is possible, right? But I want to set at least my expectation for EG very low. And again, not as a slight, not as a dig, not as like using it as a gag, but as a, hey, whatever they come in here and deliver, I will grade them from the bottom. Let's see what level of Counter-Strike that they're able to deliver as a team. So I'll start the expectations for them low, but for different reasons than Rooster. If Rooster get anything done, if they come in here and have some shock individual performances like last time round, they're great. You know, okay, ADK wins a couple clutches, ASAP Society. We're learning some stuff, right? That's essentially what it is for those two teams for me. ENCE and Heroic at the tippy top makes a lot of sense. I expect that to be the upper bracket final for the match for the quarterfinal or the round of 12. And then it gets a little bit murkier for the last two spots. I'm expecting Mouse, just based off of the pedigree of the players in the server, to be coming in the third or fourth position. And then after that, I would have a hard time. And that's why I put MIBR closer to the shock column, because I want to see firsthand Safe and drop outside of the FURIA system. I like Insani and I like Breno, right? Both of those guys at different points throughout their careers of playing have showed these exciting moments. And then Monty and Big, they're both stuck in the tumble dryer of consistent online Counter-Strike. So for them coming to LAN and being able to adjust, Big with a few more rookies in that regard, Monty, I think have shown, you know, good CS. I like the team under LMBT, but I liked what Jerry was saying about the lack of Boros and Bro having to step and feel that. That's where you need to get more out of other individuals. That's where you need to look and hope that Warrior can find more impact on the AWP, right? Krasnal can't just be so supportive, needs to be a fragger in certain positions on certain maps. So for Monty, with that change, I'm still waiting to see what the, I don't know. No, it's not the identity, because we hear from SDY like that maybe it's better without Boros. You have maybe a more complete team.
That's what everyone says when the star leaves, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you know, there's different perspectives from either side. So for Big and Monty, they're just middle of the pack. I'm not quite sure where to place them. I like what Jerry was saying about MIBR. I'd love to see it. Another Brazilian name re-enter the fray of someone to be excited about. And okay, that's mine. Did we pass, Prof? Did we all do our homework good?
Yeah, I think this is pretty nice.
Okay.
What do you think about the concept? I think it's
pretty good. Yeah,
it's good.
I think we just need to prepare ahead of time, because I was kind of like chopping and changing all the time. But it's also fun to do live. Yeah,
because you're talking through your thought process.
Yeah. I think once I talked through it, like I did it properly now. Like for example, you know, I had ENCE on top, then Heroic, but because of my logic, I swapped them around because I just expect Heroic to have an easier time going to the playoffs. And the same way with Mouse, you know, I kept them where they are, but I put them above ENCE just because there's a chance, you know.
Yeah, well, they're the same thing. That I think that I would have to put Big or a Monty probably in flop, because I can't have all of these names getting through, but I wouldn't know which one to put. Like the new Big roster, Jerry mentioned it, tabseN's apparently not in-game leading, right? Which is one of these things. The power struggle behind that, whether it's...
he is and he isn't. It's like, it depends on what day you ask them.
Yes, but that's the problem. We've all been, like, I'm sure, Jerry, you've been there before. You've probably gone, man, if I wasn't fucking having an in-game lead, I could frag so much better and I could do this and I could help my in-game leader. But then you realize, no, like, I get to set the table. I'm the one who gets to control the pace and how the game flows. And I used to like that as an in-game leader, because I knew where I could place myself to be the most impactful for the team. So I think it's a bit of a shame tabseN, as the older statesman, would be giving up the reins. He's got the most experience. He should be the in-game leader.
Yeah, it's hard for him, because I think he had his career as a game leader, right? And you're not able to give up it like that. I mean, you can, but it's just my opinion that you're not able to do that. It will be hard to live with that in your head. Maybe he is the really good fragging AGL. I mean, not maybe, he is exactly the good fragging AGL. We all know tabseN. We all know that he's able to do some incredible things with his rifle. But once he's coming on bottom and he's not AGL anymore, it's different. Now it should be really different for him, and I'm not sure if they can find a consistency with that one. And I'm not sure if they will keep him. Maybe we will see tabseN out of Germany soon. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
well,
It's
window-
interesting. It's so interesting.
Be.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be, but still, who knows? Who knows?
Well, this is the thing, Jerry. Every time we talk about it, I know that they are big hate that we talk about it. They're like, that's not happening. He's the franchise player for Germany. He wants to make German Counter-Strike good. Every time we talk about it. But I think everybody on the outside is like, man, if tabseN just a couple years ago had gone to like, I don't know, FaZe before Carrigan had rejoined Riot, or he'd gone to an international project, it could have been nuts. I think that window is
possible.
closed.
Possible. Yeah, window is closed, but life is a dynamic thing, you know. Maybe we will see something more from him, because maybe he will come up together with incredible performance. Yeah, well, let's say 115 for 3 months, and all of those will be the recent tournaments, the big ones. And he will say, guys, I need a new project. I can feel myself good. Maybe he had lack of self-confidence. Now that's why he gave up the spot of AGL. We are not able to be inside his head, but yeah, as you mentioned, we can see it from distance that he would like to be with Berlin International Gaming. Yeah, he stick with that, but I haven't hope, you know. I'm optimistic with that. I'm optimistic with him because he's AGL.
I haven't been. I actually created like one fantasy that is like the serious one, and then me and my girlfriend have a kind of like a separate one where we're like no heroic and no ends. And I have tabseN in both of my fantasies, so I have high hopes for him this tournament.
All right, let's move forward. Everyone happy with Pro League discussion?
Yeah.
All right.
CS2.
Let's jump back into, I guess, the recent news.
Oh.
Let's quickly fly through some of these. So just general thoughts. Everybody's heard what our thoughts on the TSM roster are. Jerry, what are your thoughts on the TSM roster?
Yeah, I think TSM, they have Jax. Yeah, he's an experienced player. In the other hand, they have Inters, who is the good anchor, who had some incredible year in the years, even though in Gambit Youngsters and Gambit After, and even in Cloud9. They have Modo, right? Also,
Modo just had a bit of a stinker against Cold Zero's boys. Hit a bit of a rough one, second map of the series they're playing right now in the Thunderpick World Championship.
Yeah, and Walde. So I think if we talk about all roster keeping together, incredibly hard. For me, it's international team, and as we've spoken before, international teams, they need to have an incredible, good, skill-wise players to be on the top, because language issues, misunderstanding, and other things, someone has to build the system. Walde, he was playing for ENS, if I'm not mistaken, for some in 23 and 22, he was playing for OG, and he was not fitting the teams he was playing on, I think. I don't know, like he, when I was young, I think the Walde is incredible player, and he will find himself, but sometimes that happens when you are not feeding yourself in teams. Like he has OG, he has Zens. There before, everyone was talking about Astralis, and now he's here. I'm not sure about this one. And this roster, it seems.
Do you think it's good
bad.
or bad, Jerry?
It seems not bad, but to me, in my opinion, it's bad.
Okay.
really, because I'm not seeing these guys to build up a system, to come up together. They have different ages. Like Jax, he's over 28, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He's old one, yeah.
Yep.
Walde, he's old one as
be
well.
28, 29 or something like that for Valde.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
And Modo and Inters is young, I think. Cypher is young, and they have to create some system to work it all together, and they're international. Too many, you know.
Okay, too many problems they have to solve.
Yeah, I'm not believing they will do, but if they will, TSM come back with not Danish roster. I mean, I've been playing Counter-Strike when the TSM was playing Cobblestone.
Yep.
Bring back cobblestone.
Don't.
Not the one that exists now, please.
Shit.
Not this one. Yeah, not this one. The old one, of course.
The old
Yeah,
one much better.
Yeah, and if we see TSM on top 30 in half of the year, that would be really great. And if they show something else, that's okay. I will say I was wrong, but I think nope.
Okay, all right. Prof Striker, anything you want to add here or not really?
Nah, I mean, we spoke about it.
Yeah,
already,
been over it a bunch. Okay, Hasteka is out of the Mongols.
Yeah.
Good news. They can get someone who can shoot.
Everybody here actually likes that news.
That's a great move for the Mongols. They can get back to being relevant again. IESF concludes. Sweden won. I saw Plopsky holding a trophy. Does anyone care? I don't know. Probably not.
I don't think anybody's ever cared about that tournament in CS, but it's like, I don't understand how that tournament is what it is and looks like what it is. I'm sure people have seen like Armin van Buren and all this kind of stuff, but it's like, it's not even C tier like national teams, you know. This is like like NIP Academy like was playing basically like in the last year, and this year was kind of a combination.
I mean, Germany is practically big academy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my point, right? Like, it's not even like a B team of the
Faven coming out is like, might as well play one tournament this year. So comes here, finishes second or
it's
something.
just it's just tournament to grow up. Just tournament to grow up. You should consider it like it. So it's saying everyone that it's a world championship, but it's a world championship and out of Counter-Strike system, let's say it like that. Because
I mean, you might as well make it for like junior, like you have in hockey, you have like junior world championship, and stuff like this. I think it's in football too. Like this is what IESF could be, and it could actually be in some way legitimate, because the problem is like they're trying to be a world championship, but none of the good players actually want to play it. So that's where they're leaving it.
The problem is, it's not a problem, but this is not a world championship for us. It's a world championship for politicians and
for IESF, like that. Probably.
And for them, this is the biggest tournament in the world, and they have sold it as such. And I guess if it works for them and they bring more like stuff to Counter-Strike, fine. I think I'm not gonna get into it. There's articles and stuff to read up on IESF and how it functions. It is essentially everything we know about like modern sports that most people don't like. So
yeah, but
all the bad things from modern sports brought over, I feel like, because it's all the federations that don't really have any actual power in the countries, but somehow they do, because that's how they feed the teams into this.
This is the only power that they have. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, and actually they're helping growing up team. I feel that myself, because back 2017 I was in South Korea, in Busan.
Okay.
So it was IESF championship, one of my first international lands, and actually it's helping young players to develop, to believe in themselves. We won that tournament with FORZE, and I don't know. Yeah, doesn't even care. Not really, but why not?
Sure, it's not S tier level Counter-Strike, but it's important as part of players' careers, or potentially important as part of players' careers, to have an opportunity to play at lower level events like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll be honest. With the stuff that Prof and Striker are talking about that you can read up about, I'm sure someone's told me what's wrong with it, and I'm sure there probably is some stuff that's bad with it, but at the same time, it doesn't even really enter my hemisphere of thought. Like, it's just like this thing that just fucking exists. It's going on.
Like
it's like a local LAN.
A lot of it has been, kind of like that. If you have local LAN expectations, then it's fine. But there's been like first X amount of games don't even have like streams available. Delays, weird stuff happening, like rescheduling matches last minute. A lot of things that you don't expect from like a top tier tournament essentially is happening. Whatever.
All right, let's keep moving. What else we got here? I guess we got the CS2 stuff. So the fun stuff.
Do you want to do Skinionaire first and then TS?
What's Skinionaire about? Is it anything to do with CS2?
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, let's do Skinionaire first, and then we can use that as talking points to get into the other bits and bobs. All right, Jerry, we got something else fun for you to do here today, mate. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? We got 5 questions, multiple choice. You're going to answer these bad boys, and the people in chat, they're going to type trade it right now. This is brought to you by tradeit.gg. Type trade it in chat right now to enter the opportunity to win a skin of, well, one of the 5 different values that you see at the bottom of the screen right now. Every question that Jerry gets right, we're going to move the slider up. You could get yourself a $50 gift card voucher thing. I believe that's the official terminology from tradeit.gg. Once again, type trader in chat, I've said traded 10 times. That's not actually intentional. I don't have to do this. My brain's kind of just lagging and catching up. Jerry, you will have Striker as your assistant if required. He can help you with 2 out of the 5 questions only.
That will definitely be required. I'm
Okay.
bad.
Are you ready to get this one underway?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me open this. Let me dim my light. Dun, 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 dun. Who wants to be a Skinionaire with Jerry? Brought to you by Trader.gg. Question number 1. What is the name of the number that indicates your rank in Premier mode? What is the name of the number that indicates you're ranked in Premier mode? CS ranking, CS rating, or CS elo?
Oh my god. It seems so easy and so hard at the same time. Okay, let's call it rating.
I feel like that sounds the most correct. Striker with a nod. Locking in CS rating. Correct answer is CS rating. So obviously this has come through the most recent update. For those people who haven't paid attention, we'll jump into it in a moment's time. But there's a whole new ranking, elo system, leaderboards all over the place. Okay, question number 2. Which of these guns fits the mid-tier category in the CS2 loadout? The Scout, the P90, or the dual Berettas?
Mid-tier category. It's mid-tier means it's not heavy, but it's not a farm gun, right?
It's that like in CS2, that's the middle column when you're in the buy.
When you set your loadout.
So it's not pistols and it's not rifles.
So Scout should be mid-tier, but P90 could be also. Yeah, let's say P90.
P90. I'm going to tell you that is bang on correct. So in the mid-tier, this is your shotguns, your Negevs,
is also there, yeah.
your SMGs. The first one is all the pistols for both sides, and the last one is all the rifles and like Scouts, AWP, DAC, all that good shit, alongside of your Galils, your FAMAS, your M4s. All right, 2 from 2. We're chugging along nicely here. Question number 3. Which of the following maps is currently not available in CS2? Italy, Office, or Militia? These are all hostage maps for people playing at home.
That's pretty simple, actually. It's Militia.
Bang.
Militia.
I
Hopefully
like
Militia comes.
Publix.
Yeah.
I like this is just such nostalgia to me, man. Playing Militia from like, I don't know.
It's a
Night
fun map.
Vision
15 years ago, whatever.
In 1.6 or fucking whatever.
Mention. Ooh.
The Night Vision in Militia and the garage thing. That was the funnest thing ever.
Yeah,
All
Night
right.
Vision is, we're all waiting.
Question number 4. Well, we got the shield back. We just need the night vision back. Question number 4. What was the first playable map in CS2? Was it Dust 2, Mirage, or Inferno?
It was Dust 2.
Bang. Damn straight it was.
Man, he's like, I need help, blah, blah, blah.
And he's smashing through them here. All right. Well, that one's correct. 4 from 4. This is with a clean sweep. Jerry's chance to go 5 from 5. Lift the trophy. Spread the skins from Trader.gg. What do you use to spectate matches in CS2? Is it CS2 TV, CSTV, or HLTV?
ESTV, I think. I don't know. The striker help.
This is correct.
I
Just
do
stick
not
with
know,
it.
but I think you're right.
You're bang on.
Right.
Yeah.
And they finally named it something which will not change over the franchise. It is now just Counter-Strike TV. No Go TV, no HLTV, no Counter-Strike 2 TV, just CSTV. The whole thing, just Counter-Strike.
Because Counter-Strike.
Yeah, because Counter-Strike fucks. That's basically the message. Jerry, congratulations. You got 5 from 5. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Brought to you by Trade-It.
D-Check won the giveaway.
If this
So
guy's
another
from Czech
out.
Republic as well, this is fucked.
This is rigged. This
is rigged.
Absolutely. This guy's been following for a few more years, though. He's 2020. DC Zek, another Czech individual. Well, congratulations. You're going to win a $50 voucher for Trader.gg. Thanks to Jerry getting all the questions correct.
His name is D-Check. He writes, I am Slovak. This is the funniest shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Misbranding, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look. Let's get into the actual discussion here. The meat and potatoes of all of this. We've done Skinionaire. Now let's talk about CS2 update that came out just the other day. It's all Reddit and HLTV have been popping off with. There's a lot of polarizing opinions. There's a lot of people saying it's shit. There's a lot of people trying to give constructive criticism. There's a lot going on. But essentially, the beta has been opened up to a larger group of individuals. I think, Jerry, you and I were talking about this before, about 40% of people you were saying, as your understanding.
It's 33 or 40, yeah, exactly.
So with that has come the change to MR12, which we were speculating previously. Once we saw it was leaked a week or a couple weeks ago with the MR12 stuff, we were talking about it. Maybe this is one of those scenarios where Valve have this in the game, and it's to get us talking about it, get the community discussing. Now they get the community playing, but didn't they announce? Someone correct me if I'm wrong here. That it is going to be the next major will be MR12.
You're correct. You're correct. Yeah.
So that's kind of big news, right? And there's a whole conversation to be had around MR12. Do we want to start there, or do we want to start with the Vox Pop Prof and use that to?
I mean, I think the MR12 angles is the thing that we talked the most about. So maybe we can talk about other things.
Well, what if we get Jerry's opinion on MR12, because we know everyone knows ours, and then we can move forward. Yeah.
Let me be clear here. I think always doing things to adapt. They're doing rarely that, but they do that. Some updates. In this case, MR12, it's pretty good for me. I think that will change the current meta a little bit. That will change the meta of saving, especially when the maps are changed. For example, the graveyard from Inferno is deleted, and there is much more retakes now possible. I think MR12 is great. I think changes are great, and I think that CS2 will be a really banger. No more, no less.
Valve shill. Okay, let's go.
Okay, another one who. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, after trying CS2, what are your thoughts? So this is the Vox Pop. So how many opinions do we have here, Prof? Do we have a?
We have 4. That's our Twitter limit.
Twitter limit is. Oh, it's a poll. Fucking hell, my eyes are getting worse. Hold up, let me bring this shit up. Bang. Okay. See the potential. See the potential has won the poll here. Concerned or disappointed?
20%.
It's big. It's big actually. But concerned is okay. But concerned and disappointed, it's like different, no?
Yeah. Haven't tried it yet. Fair enough. That people are not making any jumps to conclusions. And amazing is the lowest. So I think anybody who thought it would be amazing hasn't been through previous iterations of Counter-Strike before.
It's also beta. Like people are like, they're expecting this to be like the new game already, and it's just.
I think that's because they're expecting the impending release, though, Striker. Don't you think that's what got them worried?
Look, that is 100% fair, yeah. Because I think, the point is like, okay, I'm saying beta, but they're probably going to release it in a way where they're still going to be updating it quite extensively until the end of the year, to help move it along, and they'll just release it in a state where it's like releasable and not too buggy, let's say. But maybe I'm wrong in that too.
No, I think they will update CS2 really, really much. As we saw, they are making updates every 2 weeks or even 1 week. So I hope we will see more of this from Valve, because Valve, hear it please. We really like when you fix your mistakes, especially in Counter-Strike. This game has been established for 10 years, each version, yeah? And fixing mistakes, this is really important. So we hope CS2 will be still shining great in a time. Just don't forget about us.
There's a few things I think that need to be established here off the top, because there's so many different conversations out there at the moment, and so many different views on the game and what's happening, and I suppose here we try and give different perspectives on this show. It's hard for people, especially people who are hardcore Counter-Strike players or watchers or enjoyers of professional CS, to put themselves in a position to understand that Counter-Strike is not only consumed by the 1% hardcore audience, that there is a very large base of people who play this game. So there are some quality of life features which people don't like, that like the radar with it showing how your footsteps, where you can be. People don't like that. They go, well, I had to learn this skill. Why does some fucking noob who's never played before get it for free,
honest,
right?
Do you think people know that very accurately? I feel like people, even like with thousands of hours, don't really know exactly
the footsteps.
Yeah, the footstep range.
Yeah. I think you're right for sure.
Like I don't think even pros know for some like specific situations if they're going to be hurt or not, like depending on where they are.
I mean, nobody knows like to the millimeter, where you're supposed to stop to not be hurt. So I think it's not necessarily like it's so. It would have to be so fucking high skill, like it's impossible.
And it's also very hard to verify. You literally need another person to move to another position.
But that's what we used to do back in the day, right?
Yeah, but that's what you used to do. Some spots, and you kind of get the flow of like, if you're rushing B, where can you run and stuff like that. You're obviously going to know that. But like if you're in a 1v1 rotating from B on Mirage to A, and the guy's like somewhere in CT and you're on short, is he gonna hear you? Like, it really depends on where he is. Like, if he's like, I don't know, stuff like that.
But an example would be if they're on like B lane on Ancient and you're running through T-spawn through water, right? Like that's an example of like what most people should understand, like these kind of zones, right? Where in transition you're going to be heard. Like across the map in every example, obviously not.
But that's why I think this is also very useful for like pros to actually be able to go into an offline server and just like figure out every angle where they can
So you can hear the rotations really fast and you know better. Actually, have you seen that there is another circle? I'm not sure what it's showing for now, but when you jump, you see a little bit less circle around your big circle when you hear your footsteps, and that's your zone when you can hear footsteps. But when you jump, there is another one small circle, and do you know why is that for? Because
I think it's the range that the noise can be heard.
Yeah,
so,
you think it's the same?
Yeah, it's like
the same
the
range from jumping, but
like
it's
there's
the
first, there's the initial like jump, and then there's the drop. That's more like that you can hear the other way, right? But the
landing
is steps, I think, but
and imagine
than the pin or whatever.
And imagine that when you play Nuke in CS2, when you're in tunnels down B side, you're able to hear what's happening outside, but you're hearing a different way, like in Counter-Strike Go. You hear it like more like you're deaf, but it's something upstairs. They change the sound. But is it like affecting if you jump? Would you hear it better downstairs because of this small cycle if you just stand up under the guy who's jumping? For example, this is the interesting questions, and the pros will go on the server and will discover this out. I like it.
I'm having a look at it now, right? Like, so I'm in the server. If I pull a Molotov and I just hold it pinned, right, and the flame, so when it ignites, it makes the small circle around me, and that's going to show the distance of which people could hear that. And then if I jump, it makes the small circle for a millisecond, because it makes a slight noise when you jump up.
First part of it, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
When I hit the ground, it's a louder noise, so it's a bigger circle. So that the drop will be heard from people further away. The jump up will only be heard from people close, right? So I think that's how that's meant to work.
Does that mean there's no, like, the silent jump does not exist anymore?
But the silent jump never really did exist, right? This is the thing when you talk to the pros, when they were jumping up, there was always like, it's harder on land. Yeah, but if you had like something, if no one was talking, there was no fucking crazy spam going on, you were just listening and someone jumped up, you could hear just a little something, right? You notice that a lot on Dust 2B, like under the window when the guy was jumping up quietly, like you could just hear it. That would be a good example of that position. So in terms of it being completely silent, look, that's something that I guess, how good you're hearing.
But on land there are a lot of talkings, a lot of stuff happening on a map, and that's almost not possible. That's why we call it silent jump. But sometimes I even heard that. Yeah, really. I was going to the Mirage and Ape. I was going to push a palace. I don't know against who, and there is some pillar bench on the A-apps on Mirage on the right, when you can put on with the silent jump. Sometimes I was going under palace and hearing if someone goes there. Actually, it's possible to hear. Yeah, so in CS2 it's just more, I think it's
pronounced,
easier to hear it. Now it's easier for sure, I'm pretty sure.
I haven't tried it enough with people, so I don't know.
Yeah. I want to get playing this afternoon to try and get some hours in, because I haven't been able to play much of the new update. But there's a lot of similar gripes I'm seeing, Prof.
Yeah, what are maybe I can say mine, but you guys can add on to. But I got the access whatever a while back. I didn't play that much, and I played a few games like now that the matchmaking thing came out, and I have to say that experience super fucking cool. Like the whole veto process, seeing the different maps, like how good are your teammates on a map. I think that's really enjoyable, having this like CS rating thing. All of that makes sense. The in-game problems that I had before are kind of the same, which is spraying feels awful. I'm not like the best player in the world. I don't feel like I'm playing CS when I start spraying.
I have a call how to call this spray. It's anything or nothing. If you start to spray and you start missing, you better to shut down spray. It starts from the beginning. It's all or nothing. If you spray, it's all or nothing in this game for now.
So that thing is still feeling very weird, and the combination of like sound plus like the damage indicator and the health
red
bar.
blood stuff. Yep.
I am very. It feels, I don't know. I was trying to explain this. It kind of feels like I'm playing with someone else. Like I'm holding someone who's playing CS. It feels so,
Okay.
out of like
just slightly off. Yeah.
After thousands of hours of CS, you feel in the game. You know exactly everything in CSGO, how it works, when you get hit, where you're getting hit from. Like it just becomes like second nature. And that does not exist in CS2 for me now. And of course, it's a new game, so that is a part of it. But I also think the movement of the damage indicator or something about it, I feel like is different, because like I can have like 95 or 5 HP, and I don't know I don't know what they changed about it, but something is different.
But that was the same. That was the same when we were in the office at the start of the year testing it. The biggest thing that we had problems with, well, not the biggest, we had problems with a lot of things, right? The game was in a much rawer state back then than it is right now, but it didn't feel like when you died, you didn't get the jolt like of, oh shit, I died. Like in CS, you know when you die, like and you know when you've done damage, and you know when exactly the things you're explaining there, Prof, that you're having a hard time feeling. We had a hard time feeling then as well. So whatever quantifies that, this is the thing. How do we, and just want to make a point. I'm going to go on a soapbox for a second here. I saw that some like AAA game dev made a Reddit thread yesterday, like calling people on the, I'm going to paraphrase, but calling people but essentially like whiny bitches or whatever, which is for the most part true. Now, here's the thing. There is just a subsect of the community that just wants to call it shit, which is fine. And you can call it shit, but you're just not going to help anything. Like by saying it's shit, you're not going to help anything. By
just look at the results of the poll. You hear so many people complaining about it, but the results of the poll are like 70% positive.
That's true.
15% is I didn't play the game, and like 10% is I hate it. I don't like it, or I think it maybe will be bad.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would say this game right now is ready to replace where CSGO is currently at. Nobody would say that. You'd be fucking mental.
No, for sure.
But nobody thought that with Source. Nobody thought that with CSGO in the beginning either. Both of those games when they came out were not products that were ready to replace the predecessor. But then we have that same situation now. The thing is, with all the feedback, if it's constructive and people are running the tests, like this Thor guy, or there's a whole bunch of people out there who are actually running tests and going through things and checking, the more that we can check one for one, why is this like this in CSGO? Why does it feel different here? If we are able to do more of that, as much of that as possible, you're essentially helping Valve do their work. And people are going to be like, but they're a fucking game dev and they make fucking millions of fucking dollars a year, man. The game fucking shit is not ready to go. So that's not how this happens. The game is played by thousands upon thousands of people who are searching for different things. Jerry might go in a server and find shit completely different to what I go in a server and find. Like we're going to find we'll experience different bugs. We have different PC builds, different graphics cards, all of this. So the more people who test and can offer the feedback and use the email with the bugs, and we speak about things constructively, this is how we make the game better as a community. We create the feedback. Valve are going to read it. I fucking guarantee you that. And the more of that we get read and people are going through, the better the game will be. So the people who just want to call it shit, you can keep calling it shit. That's fine. That you can exist in your own little bubble, because we all agree with you that the game is not ready right now. But I think the community as a whole want to push the game in the correct direction, right? So let's continue to try and see the forest for the trees, right?
Yeah. I saw some posts from Cooper about like interp rates and stuff like that that apparently help. So maybe that's a thing that I try out this afternoon, see if it does any difference.
So
Me too, actually.
Do you have to unstable internet connections, the two of you? I guess like it for Jerry, maybe higher ping.
Mine is pretty good.
No, actually, almost all games I had 11 games. I won 9 out of them, and I think 9 games was on Stockholm, and for me it's 10 ping, 10 latency. So it's okay.
I mean, you're St. Petersburg, right? You said.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
I also wanted to say that I got Stockholm for some reason, which is definitely not a good server. Like Germany would make sense.
Did you lower your max ping?
But listen,
I don't know.
They have
max ping.
They have Frankfurt on mine. It's a Germany server.
Yes.
On Faceit, for example, for premium games, they have Falkenstein, and Falkenstein is much worse. So thank you again. Frankfurt is the really good server with good rotations. For all of us who is playing Counter-Strike, it's better. So just wanted to make a point of it, because I don't know, Falkenstein is bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What else is there? So I still noticed that you could do a jump bind. I was talking to Machine about it today. That you can still do jump throws. Yeah, jump throws. So the way you'd have to do your config for CS2, it's in a slightly different area for people who wanted to add that, but you can still do jump throws with binds for the step and the standard jump throw. So I suppose Valve are not going to be able to put a kibosh on that. The thing with that is it's so wild. When we were there in the office, we were talking about the jump throw. We come in the next day and one of the guys had put jump throw as an actual bind in the game. And we were like, yeah, that's fucking sick. And then when the game came out, on the day the game would, like when the beta was announced, we were talking about it at Pro League last season. And I was like, oh yeah, this is in the game. And then when I went and checked, I was like, it's not there anymore. Like, so they can put it in the game. It's a functionality they can just add. But for whatever reason, I think they thought they had solved that problem. Not to be the case. What else is there that you can?
I mean, the problem with the jump throws is mainly moving jump throws rather than, you know, standing is super easy and jumping, crouching, whatever, like combination of throws is easy. But the problem is when you start running or when you start moving and jump throwing is when it's slightly off, you know, when it's not super easy to do consistently, you know.
Yeah,
so I think that's a huge skill check, I suppose.
Yeah, moves are feeling really weird, and I'm the guy who's liking run boost, you know, and I'm always the guy who's an overpass jumping over the heads and trying to run boost myself. I always like to do that, and on Mirage, when you go to the middle, I always run boost. But in CS2, I have never done this. Oh, actually, Inferno, when you go B, run boost.
Yeah.
So free run boost I use all the day, every time I play, but I'm not able to use them in CS2 for now, and I'm.
Actually did it one. I mean, it's possible to do it.
Yes, it's possible, but now it's really harder because the models they feel like you're always getting you know, like it's just in front of you, but at the same time, if you walk close to it, you might get stuck, you might get bumped, you might get something
it's like when you're putting
happening.
Magnets together, right, Jerry?
Yes,
you know, when you try and put and then it pushes away. Yeah.
Yes, it's pushing me away all the time. I want to run boost, you know, and no one letting me to do so. It's hard. I mean, it's harder now, and I'm pretty sure that some movements will be changed, but not now. I'm pretty sure they will. What
do we think about new Inferno? Because it seems like it has a very positive review. Do you guys share that sentiment?
It is the best looking map of them all, man. Like, and it's not even close.
A lot of the elements look like they've been thought about as well.
Yeah, there's so much detail, man.
Yeah, for example, as I mentioned, the simplest one is that they deleted the wall in front of graveyard, and now it's easier to retake the most hardest to retake site on Inferno. They removed the wall, and now you're not able to hide in graveyard and pit. Now in pit, you see not only just the head, you see the whole body till the knee. You see almost the whole
on
body.
The barrel.
No, if you pick short from pit,
okay. It's not a headshot angle anymore.
Yeah, it's not headshot angle anymore, and there is, as you mentioned, so much more details. The map is more wider. In some, you know, in Banana it seems like it's wider. In the mid it seems like it's wider, but the entrance to the mid is now shorter in the same time.
So it feels more claustrophobic. Yeah.
I will say that for me, I think I know a lot of people have complained about the brightness of the maps, and I think it's the most, I don't know, when I jumped into Inferno the other day, I just looked like, because of the difference of what's inside and what's outside, it becomes like overwhelming when you go somewhere in an open area, you know, where the brightness is like 100%, you know, because if you go into apps, for example, on Inferno, you know, it's like a normal, it's like you expect that to be slightly dimmer and stuff like that, but then you go outside and it's really like you're getting blasted by sunlight, you know, like it really is almost a little bit too bright overall.
Yeah, I have saturation 10 on my monitor settings, and I like when the picture is bright. I have the problem now on CS2 when I'm playing with the guy who has an orange sign, orange color on the radar.
Okay.
I'm almost, I don't know how is that gamma works, but sometimes I think that this orange guy is actually enemy who's shooting my teammate, and I can see him on radar. Yeah, he's almost red, and I had to put my saturation down a little bit. So yeah, colors are really good, and as you mentioned, Striker, yeah, you go to the apps and you feel okay, but once you pick the site, whoa, what's happening?
I put my brightness down to like 90 or something.
I think I have to put it down too. And I think on default it's a bit much.
There is a small bug if you like type it in. At least it was when I was doing it 2 days ago. When you type like 90 in, it actually moves the thing to 120 for some reason. So you have to move it with your
They want
cursor.
you to play like this.
They have to move it with your cursor to actually make it lower. Otherwise, it actually makes it more bright. So
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of oh no, it doesn't matter.
You know what I think is gonna be really interesting with all this stuff. Like we're talking about like just general things with the game in terms of the colors and this, that, and the other. The more that people now who just get access to this and can play with the camera feature and like the grenade rethrow feature and everything they have in the game now with this, like I think for people to be able to get proper util sets and stuff, people are more incentivized to be able to do it in easier fashions. And I think that's gonna hopefully like. I don't imagine it will take as long as it did in previous iterations of Counter-Strike to go from, you know, having all the set util. We already in the precedent where all the set util, the perfect flashes, everyone knows the map control util, the smokes. That's going to be immediate, which is so crazy. And with no skyboxes, you guys seeing on Inferno some of the stuff like Rops is throwing like a spawn CT smoke that lands T stairs on Inferno. So then and then somebody from mid could just throw the standard chicken pit molly and you could have full mid control. Like, there's going to be some real meta shifts.
I think it was on an art video or was it on Shushan as well. Like Flames' brother made a video that like a smoke that kind of lands bottom banana, but also kind of smokes T stairs at the same time. Because of the different smokes, the volumetric stuff is like, okay, this kind of sick.
That's throwing in front of library, right?
I mean,
it's hard smoke, but it's changing meta.
Yeah, it's maybe a bit slow, so I don't know if you can do it like at the start of the round or does it do anything. But I don't know. I think the question is about this like run, because now the bind exists. Not the bind. You can make the bind to jump throw.
Yep.
But they it seems like they didn't want that to be in the game, and I feel like it's not going to be in the game. Like it doesn't really align with what they're doing with CS2 in general. So the question is, do we actually need to have consistent run?
Yeah, we had this discussion 7 years ago. I already had this argument on Twitter against JW and Flusher.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's
I think it creates more of a more layers to the game. So I think it's just good for the game because it just becomes deeper. You know, if you know all these things, then you will just be able to come up with more elaborate strats. Just the game becomes more interesting. I think it's a good thing. If it's consistent, you know.
If it's not consistent, you won't see the ability to have the map control done in the same way. So the game will just become like messier and sloppier. And I don't know if that's what we're looking for.
It doesn't have to be, because like maybe the balance is like more skybox openness versus run.
But there is no skybox, right? So it need to be more map openness so that you don't have to do the jump ones. But then I guess what is it they want to control? Because when we had Inferno in the old meta, we didn't like it when everybody could just go long side and re-smoke bottom of a banana for fucking the entire round.
But that's also different now because now you have the nade to kind of counteract that.
Yeah, we will play differently. What do you think of that, Jerry? The nade smoke combo.
I think that in time the Valve will add some, you know, like now if you go to the Inferno to the mid, you're not able to throw the same nades because there is some arch above you and you're not able to do that. So I think the Valve will go this way. They will just add something instead of skyboxes, and that would be really interesting. For example, you've been throwing this mid control combo, and in some day we'll just add something, I don't know, some part of the building there or something that could block this smoke, and you come up on the server and think, I'm not able to do that anymore. Interesting. So maybe that's how they will approach these open skyboxes all over the maps. Maybe some other way, but I think that would be really fun and interesting, as you mentioned. And for these, more slow game in the beginning, that's okay on Inferno, no problem. You waste your nades, we will come up later, we will retake you. You will be not comfortable to stay in our zones, like in the bed and the beginning of banana, and the terrorists will find a way to solve this. I mean, this is okay for maybe a low level, when you throw these nades and your teammates staying in T-stairs and saying, oh, what should we do? I'm burning in Molotov. If I go banana, I get killed. But in high level, just wait and just taking control of over the bridge, over the T-apps, just chill for a while, realize where the enemy could be, then use some utilities to retake the zones. And this is pretty simple, actually. But as I mentioned, changing meta with the nades. So open skyboxes, some new incredible nades, something maybe less HE grenades using, because now you're able to I don't know the word,
disperse the smoke.
Disperse the smoke, yeah, and much more will come. I'm pretty sure. Like we had with CZ, once they added CZ in the global offensive, everything blown up, all Twitter blown up. Like this is the OP gun, and now it's full fixed, and this is the only weapon except AVP. You will get $100 reward for killing. Really, 100 still.
It should be changed.
Yes,
back to 300 for sure.
So yeah, we will see more of that. I'm pretty excited.
Chad, did you see anyone did you see anyone doing some like executes or like timed pushes with like exploding the smoke and then having someone else throw a pop flash at the same time or stuff like that?
Nothing regimented right now. I imagine me and the lads are probably going to go do that once we finish here, and just goes like some of the guys that I play with have been playing a bit, right? And some of them haven't. Most of the guys I'm broadcast with haven't been playing a lot, but it'd be fun to go. We like doing that stuff. We really like the way that
I think that's going to be very interesting to see, because like you can really catch people with their pants down proverbially with a nading a smoke thing. You just can't really. Even more than before. Like now people still can pop through smokes with a pop flash, but now there's like so many variations to it. You don't even need to push through. It can be just someone chilling with an op holding an angle, and you explode the smoke and get a kill.
I can see a lot of good ways for it to be used, right? Like if they're going a deep banana smoke and your T stairs and you have an AWP posted on the line, you blow it away, you get the vision. If you see nothing, one of your players can sneak through and take the banana space and the smoke means nothing, right? Like there's a lot of good ways to use it.
So we had we had the reaction, we had the reflex on flashes, on some, flashes sound when it hits the wall, right? Like someone used decoy to pretend it's flash. And now we will have a reflex to react on each HE when we have an execute. If you hear the HE sound, then you need to turn around to the smoke instantly, because it maybe disappeared just behind you. So we will have new reflexes, and I think it's really interesting. Maybe some people will do two fake, like someone will drop two nades, one guy will throw a nade, and they thought, okay, they just picked on banana, for example, you wasted two nades on banana, they think you have no nade, they may stay in front of smoke and do contact, or fast explode, but you will have one more extra HE dropped on the coffins, and you will use it in the same timing, I mean in a different timing, and you will expose the T's really fast. So yeah, the meta will be incredibly interesting. There is a lot of ways to use that.
Draco, where are you going?
I'm just curious about the like what you were talking about with the combos of like, there's these already I've seen, where there's essentially like, let's say you are on defending B Inferno, and you have and you have the smoke just I just saw that come up and I got kind of surprised. And you have the smoke just delaying, T's, whatever, in banana, and you're waiting for that. I mean, you could easily have as a T, like a combination of a pop plus the nade that lands right in the middle of the smoke, the nade pops, the flash pops at literally the same time, and at that point, like the T's push through the smoke, just to get the op off the angle or whatever. Even if somebody's watching the smoke, literally waiting for the nade to happen, you still have the pop flash, on top of it, so you get people off the angle. You can push through the smoke in that moment, and just use it in that way. I'm really curious, like how far people will take it. And this will, of course, cause CTs to start reacting differently to that, like we will see the development.
And then people just walking through a smoke without anything. And then it's
anti-nade smoke, whatever. Like I don't know what that will entail.
Easy.
But essentially, all this has done is give a whole new plethora of different options, right? That's essentially what we're discussing here is new options. So people's decision-making tree of how they approach scenarios in Counter-Strike will become larger. There'll be more decisions which are optimal. There'll still be the best decisions to make in certain situations, but you have more ways to counter certain things. And once the meta of how those things starts to grow, that'll be added onto the meta that we already have built in terms of the way that we use our utility now. And then we'll refine that with what the new attributes and abilities are. But I wanted to bring back up this floppy tweet because I think Rob's agreed with a bunch of the stuff here. So I just wanted to read through some of this.
I actually opened it on my own as well to bring it up later. So
so this tweet right here from Floppy, I have the same feeling with quite a few bits and bobs. So Lucas, if you whack this one back up on the screen, mate. Spraying, we already mentioned it. Running next to people with the rubber banding, like Jerry brought up before. Smokes lasting slightly too long. I'm pretty sure in CSGO it's like 18 seconds. In CS2 it's like 21 or 22 seconds, something along those lines. So maybe they wanted to extend the smoke length because of the HE combination. So they may be expecting people to use that more. So that's something to keep in mind. Peaking, there does feel like there's a lot more run and gun, but I'm curious if that is a ping issue, because I always play on 40 to 50 ping. So for me, I'm not sure if I'm experiencing that because of a ping scenario, or if that's an issue with the sub tick, or if that's an issue with the way that the new models move, right? So once somebody is initiating into a jiggle peak, half of their body or more is going to be making a gesture that they're moving. Whereas when we're in CSGO, we're a lot more, this part of our body stays very straight, right? So we're more like we're moving
it's
around.
static. It's static. Yeah.
So this is something that people's brains have to get used to as well. Now, I think there's probably something wrong with sub tick, if I'm going to be honest. Like for me, the fact that everybody has the same consensus, tapping feels fucking great. You know, tap, bang, the headshot, you're blown off. But there's something about the adjustment and whatever plays into that. I feel like sub tick or the system they have in place, I would love mental.
It would be actually super, super cool if they would just do a test with, you know, like they did with you guys. Did this whole same game, have sub tick and have 128 tick, and just see what people say. Like I also feel like whatever, from what I'm reading, it just makes sense that it would not be consistent as the old thing was. And I'm not saying it's definitely going to be a different experience. And the question is it better and we just need to get used to it, or is it not? So far it doesn't seem better. It seems at best it can be the same, but it's probably going to cause some issues. So I don't know what the upside of this whole like sub-tick thing is. But
yes,
I would have just loved to have it the same, and then eliminate one like random factor in trying to make the games match up, essentially.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's probably something they should be aiming for, right? To make things as close as possible, but it's a whole new engine. So some things won't be possible. But stuff that irks me up the wall is like, why do I have to have the traces on? Why do I have to have the bob on, right? Do they want the game to be the same for everybody? I imagine so. But that fucking sucks. I played 10 years of Counter-Strike with having bob turned off and not having traces on. And now I don't want to relearn. That's how I feel. But I will relearn, right? But I don't want to because it means I have to work. And people don't like to work. So that's some of the adjustments. But I think the AWP feels dog shit. You hear people talking about how it feels delayed after you shoot. Like there's certain things with that don't feel great. So that all needs to be adjusted and tweaked and made better. Some of the stuff, though, like left-handed models, I feel that has to come in, and not for the reason that people should be changing in the middle of a round between hands, but in the reason that some people's their different eye is dominant, which is going to be affected by which side of the model it's on. Right? I don't know the science behind this, but I know that there is some rationale behind it. People are left or right eye dominant, which you know, could be affecting with these models. So there's a lot of things they need to adjust. And I don't think and again, I want to reiterate this, I don't think anybody's ready to say this is the game that should be out there and we should be playing it. But we're definitely, hopefully, heading in a direction where these things can be fixed. I don't know if they can be. I'm hoping they can be.
I'm pretty sure they can be fixed, because this is a huge peak advantage. It's not fair. I can say for sure, I know if I'm staying at banana for T side on the wall, and if I go wide and try to kill sandbags, I will do it 10 of 10. 10 of 10, I'm pretty sure. Because now you have incredible, big, huge advantage if you pick someone with wide peak. And sometimes when I use the USP, as you mentioned, it's like an AVP. The bullets are like delayed, slightly delayed, and had like 10 ping. I don't know how and why, but I'm pretty sure that it will be fixed pretty soon, because as we mentioned, everyone has the same pool of problems, and that means this is the weak spot in current beta version, and we will be working on that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we are the individuals to try and dissect some of these problems, but I know that I'm having a lot of reading to catch up on from the last couple of days. I see Flom's already going really hard in the Premier mode, like in the rankings and stuff like that. And I've been watching some of Rops's streams, and there's other like high level like pro players playing, and some of the matchmaking games are actually quite interesting. Like they're having to I'm watching Rops, and he's having to like communicate as if I wouldn't say he's playing like a match or anything, but he's having to communicate a lot more than I have in my experiences of old matchmaking. Because old matchmaking is fucking, you roll in, you know you're going to beat your opponent every day of the week. It's not close out there in the global elites. So it's interesting to see now that we have an influx of people in the server testing all these things out. I just hope that we see these updates coming pretty frequently. but I have faith. I think yes they've shown that they're trying to build something good, right? And I don't think they don't want the game to be bad. I think that's hilarious. My favorite take is, right, we've got this fucking we've got this mum AQ guy in here whose entire thing is just to like stir the pot and be a cunt. Like feels like Valve is incompetent to be honest. They can't do spraying or flicking. Those are the most basic mechanics. I'd say this individual is probably somewhere around under the age of 20 and has like, you know, just contributing nothing into the void of the world with a comment like that. It's like, what are you saying, bro? Like, what are these people attempting to achieve with comments like that? I just can't I can't help but like think that it's like, I know I'm getting old and I'm becoming more rational the older I get.
But just funnily enough, they're more like the old man shouted cloud than you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fair enough. You're right.
So you can't feel old, be the bad.
They just want to say. They just want to say, and that's all.
Yeah.
What is concerning to me is like, when are we gonna switch to CS2, and when we switch, how good is the game gonna be? Because from what it is right now, and let's say we want to switch in that like
major window,
yeah, October, November kind of area where the major was supposed to be, which makes sense. I don't think the game is gonna be as close to CSGO as people want it to be.
No, I don't think so
which
either.
will result in a lot of random results and a lot of complaining and a lot of kind of
resentment
towards the big dad Valve and stuff like that. And I was hoping it wouldn't be the case, but I don't think they can solve all of these things and in that time. And realistically, some of them will just be solved later. And also realistically, when CSGO came out, it was probably worse than CS2 is right now. Maybe not.
Oh yeah.
Maybe yes.
Oh,
yes.
it was.
It
When
was.
it came out.
When it
You
came out.
were not able to extinguish the Molotov.
But like,
The Bison was the best gun in the game.
After the first year, it was really good, like I would say. And then there was a lot of changes that made it even better in terms of like the hitboxes and stuff like that. Is like stuff that people only realize after like 2-3 years of the game being out, like things being desynced on planting and stuff like that. And that got fixed in like 2015 and shit like that. So I think there is just going to be, I'm just coming to terms that when the game comes out, it's going to be kind of whack in some regards.
I think the positive thing is that there are way more people playing the game than there were CSGO at the time. It was like in the tens of thousands, you know, in CSGO when it came out, you know, and very quickly it just like was like people coming back to 1.6 because they didn't like the game enough. And that's kind of what we're seeing with CS2 and beta, at least what we've seen so far, because you could only enjoy so much of playing it as 2 or whatever it was, whatever the map was at the time, you know. So I think just through them having way more data on everything and way more people just giving them feedback, way more people like who actually know what they're talking about to be able to tell them very specifically, okay, this is how I reproduced it, and this, like, just through that alone, the improvement of the game will go quicker than CSGO did, because like there's just not even as many devs working on the game, I'm sure, at the time, you know, not even close. So from that aspect, I think like we're still in good hands, and that's
Here's 2 things with your point here, Striker, is that what doesn't qualify with people's critiques. One of the things is if you say that's not Counter-Strike, that doesn't qualify as a critique.
Right,
you don't get anywhere with that. And like if people are, there was a second point I had and I forgot it already, so my brain is functioning really well today.
Of the feedback is like it's pretty not really unusable. It's okay, but
more like how are you supposed to judge?
Not really
it, right?
actionable. It's like it feels off.
Oh, it's that's it. It was feeling I was going to use. We need to have more. We need to try and look for the cause of the feeling.
Yeah.
If we can try and identify the cause of the feeling, then we can actually work out why it feels different or why it feels this way.
I think saying something feels off is fine. And like if enough people are saying the same thing, then I guess there's something to it that needs like a better look in. But it's not really something we can.
Or it's a reverse placebo effect. You know, one person says it, enough people say it, and then everybody's like, "Well, this fucking feels off."
That would be really funny.
That's kind of, but that's what that's why I'm kind of almost trying to avoid, even though like my job is to know stuff and all that stuff. I'm almost trying to avoid all the feedback about CS2 until I get a good chance to play a lot of it, so that I get my own opinion. You know, I'm not affected by all this. Like this feels off, this feels off, this interp, whatever that interp. Like I want to have like as clean of an experience for myself without being affected by all these people talking about all these issues. You know, I still come across it like it's impossible. I can't do it, but I want to try.
Sorry, gentlemen. I just I have a missed call. I wasn't not listening. I'm back in the room. Okay, I just put this up on screen. So if you are somebody who wants to add constructive criticism or find some bugs, use the email provided on screen right now to email Valve and let them know what you found. And usually examples are great ways to go about doing that. If you have an example of something in the game, if you have any materials, any assets that you can provide, that would be fantastic. I'm sure they would love to get your constructive criticism, your feedback to help things along here and put them in the right direction. Just make sure, again, Mum AQ, you're not saying things like, it's shit. Right. And let me
this guy saying Amisnari is like me being a Valve employee reading the 7,000 feedback message that reads sprays are shit today.
But that is also the bad thing about like so many people playing the game, because they're gonna get so much feedback. It's much harder to sift through all the feedback because there's just too many people, right?
If I'm sure that's why at HLTV it's gonna go into priority, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Like I'm sure that's why they like introduce the people very in waves, that so that like at the beginning they only have a few like feedbacks,
core feedback,
like feedback, like at the beginning, and then like the bigger test comes when they want to test all of the rigs and all that stuff, like the stress test everything, all the servers, whatever it is that they need to do, So I think that's also part of that's obviously bad, but as long as they can sift through the feedback and get to the good one, that it is a good thing that there's so many people.
This is why the feedback needs to be like this. Hey, the spraying is shit because. Well, no, not because the spraying is shit. I think things like not being able to disable Bob, traces, different models, different this may be affecting the way this feels. I think, this is you have to speculate the reasons. We have to talk this through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not easy.
All right. We've almost been going for 2.5 hours. Jerry, you're a man of many words. I want some words right now on the future of yourself, of Counter-Strike, of CS2, of anything that comes to your mind right now, young son. What are you feeling? What's in your heart of hearts?
I'm feeling great motivation right now. I feel I can use my skills and everything else to provide something good in the CS2 once it's out of beta. And of course, I will tell you that thank you a lot for inviting me here. So give me a word.
When do we find about your new roster?
You will find out on 15 September.
Okay, 11 days.
Yes, not that much. And thanks to everyone who watched that. I think we had a pretty impactful conversation here, actually. Had some, deep discussions. And yet there is so much more to explore. And right after this LTV show, I will go and explore my rating because I need to win one more game. And one more game are separating me from getting my CS2 rating. I'm really, I really want to see that. And I think the hard 20K is the point where you're not able to go above on calibration. How do you think, guys? I think it's 20K or
what? Sorry.
20K points. Yeah, ELO rating. It's like if you win 10 games, you'll get your rating. But I think the highest part of rating you can get after these 10 wins, it's 20K, but you're not able to get more.
Okay.
How do you think?
So then you have to I don't know. I have to look into this.
No, I've seen
played
somebody
a couple of
more
them,
than that. No, like when they're posting the.
But he's saying after your 10 games, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like
only 10. Only 10.
At the point of when you get the 10 games, right?
Yes. So
some people in chat are saying you can get more, but I don't know. Some people have got.
No, I thought.
Okay. I had 11 games. All of those I had 150 ADR, a lot of kills, and I want to figure out how is that exactly work because I'm really interested to explore. And guys, let's just play CS2. Let's just play CS2, find some bugs, and let's improve. Let's improve our community because it's growing up. It's being more professional now, but we still have a lot to do. So just be positive, guys. Be positive.
ESM are coming back against the ancient. I'm sorry.
But Jerry's bang on. Jerry's got a really good point here. And one final question before we get out of here. Well, not a question. One final tidbit from me. There's people asking why didn't they give out more access earlier? Because you would fragment the entire player base of Counter-Strike if you did that. And that is probably not something that Valve wanted to achieve. They didn't want to be ultimately disruptive. If I was looking at it, right, I would want to try and keep the community in one place while it's possible. But Jerry, thank you very much for joining us today, mate. It's been fantastic. Always love talking to you. Prof, Striker, as always, Lucas. He's been the man making all the buttons get pushed and all that good stuff. And once more, shout out to the sponsors, 22Bet. Remember to gamble responsibly, SteelSeries and TradeIt.gg. We're out of here. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. And, well, same stuff. I bet we'll be talking about more CS2, more Pro League, and anything else that happens within the news. See you guys next time.
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
Are you tired of your boring old skins and looking for beautiful new ones? TradeIt.gg is your place to go for easy and secure trades within seconds. Simply pick and choose whatever item you want to trade from TradeIt's huge inventory. Verify the trade on Steam and you're ready. With the lowest fees in the market and a beautiful, easy-to-use UI, TradeIt also offers you the option to instantly sell your items for cash. We accept a wide variety of payment methods. TradeIt.gg is the go-to place whenever you want to try out fancy new skins. Start trading today at TradeIt.gg.
It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train.